is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
And welcome aboard. It is time to have some fun on a Friday. We are coming to you live from Craig's Inns. Acura of Pembroke Pines will be out here for a few hours having some fun. We got some guests. We got all kinds of stuff going on, which is a beautiful thing. Kevin Iole, by the way, will join us at 2 o'clock to talk a little MMA and boxing. Andy Benoit is going to join us also, NFL Draft Insider. So we've got all kinds of things to talk about here on the program. And remember, there's always many ways to participate on the show, which, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can, of course, send in any questions, comments, insults, all that good stuff. Don't forget to click the thumbs up or thumbs down. If you hate it too, that's fine. And of course, that share button, share it around, man. Send it on a text to somebody, post it on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And we thank you for supporting the show in so many different ways, whether you're downloading it, watching it on YouTube, social media, all that good stuff. We really appreciate the immense support and the numbers. Again, the download numbers, as always, have been phenomenal. Even in a month where we're not talking any, there's really not a lot of, there's no sports going on. That's the good part about sports is it still has a life of its own, so we can still talk about it because it's still there. It's all there in the periphery, but it's all there. And so there are things that at least we're blessed that we can talk about. But it's been great, and obviously the support on YouTube has exploded. We are approaching 2,000 subscribers. Those of you that have been with us from the get-go a few months back when we were starting to build this thing up, and I remember the YouTube thing, we've been doing it maybe for 5 months or something. I remember we were talking about, hey, we need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we got there pretty quickly. It took us a couple months, and now, before you know it, we're headed over to 2,000 now, which is simply amazing. And the YouTube numbers are going through the roof with so many people at home. That's the good thing. I think a lot of people every day I run into a few people that are reaching out to me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all kinds of, hey, I didn't know you were doing this. I miss you from QAM or whatever station that I've been on, and so they end up finding out about it because they don't know. But that's a good thing because now during this time they find out about us, and now they know that they can get us anytime, and they can upload the show and listen to all the segments and interviews and all kinds of stuff that's broken down.
Do they ever say, I miss you from WKAT?
No, that they don't go all the way to KT. Now they do say Radio Acción y la Ensalada Deportiva. Those are the ones that,
wow.
When they say the Spanish show from,
that's the other side of the country, man.
No. That's the Deportes Byline Americas. I'm talking about 8:30 a.m. Radio Acción that I did for 2 years. That's if you've been with me since then. That's over 25 years of talk shows. So that's impressive when I get the person that says I've been listening to you since your Spanish days and all that. So that's listen, I'm impressed by any of you out there that have been with us for a month, a year, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, whatever it is.
Hey, Pierce, do you ever get a Radio A?
No, never get a Radio A. That's that one I never get. Although it is funny when I'm at a concert, because it usually happens in concerts, more places than other, because obviously I go to a lot of concerts. But I usually run into somebody, and then they're there with their son. And then the son's telling me how, yeah, man, I've been listening to you for the last couple of years. My dad turned me on to you and all that. And then the dad says, yeah, I've been listening to you for a long, long time. And it's like, holy crap, man, I'm old. I got fathers, and I got the second generation listening to me, and that's kind of twisted.
When the second generation is old enough to listen, yeah.
Yeah, that's twisted. But I've been at it for 30 years, so that's enough to have a second generation. Who knows? In a couple more years, we'll have the third generation. That might be the day that I might just say, I'm out of here. I'm done. When the father and the son and then the grandson, and they're all listening, and they all been listening for a really long time, that's just.
Hey, father and son, when you become grandfather and father, don't approach with your grandson.
Yeah, you'll probably give me a heart attack right at that point.
We don't want him to stop doing this. So, you guys, like 10 years down the road, don't approach him with your grandson.
Kind of reminds you of how old you are and how long you've been trying to survive in this business, in this crazy-ass business. By the way, tomorrow we'll be on Mad Dog Channel 82 doing our thing, 8 to 11. So if you happen to have a little serious Mad Dog, you can tune in. They are offering right now a 90-day free trial. Okay? So the link is on my Twitter page. So just in case, if you want to sign up, you don't pay anything for 90 days. You get to listen, and then they'll charge you, so you can cancel it before they charge you on the 90 days. And at least you have a trial that you get to, test it out and give it a go. So go to my Twitter page if you want, and you can catch us whenever we're doing our serious thing.
Sir, you said 8 to 11. You did not specify.
Mornings.
Okay, a.m.
Yes. Yeah, it could be p.m. That's right. No, tomorrow morning I'll be on 8 to 11 doing our thing. So we got a lot of things. Believe it or not, I was able to find several things to talk about today on the program. We got a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a few, interviews today on the show. Let me see what I got here on a little roll call. The Dude is chiming in. Alex Lee is chiming in. Chad Marcion is chiming in. Alan C. I look forward to 11 a.m. every day. Thank you, Alan C. That's very kind of you, my man. Ian from Brooklyn, Big O, Bill are in the house. Thank you, sir. FinFan70, Douglas Anderson, Myron Sanchez, Daniel Amador, 90MF Comics. Big O, it's Chad the intern. Hope all is well. Chad, what's up, baby? Hope you're still rocking. Hope you're still playing in your band, my brother. Appreciate you, Chad. Let's see. He goes, that's me now. My pops put me on sports talk, and, of course, the little man is going to be a listener, too. Oh, God. All right, so then your son. Oh, no. So that's exactly what I was talking about. Oh, man. I'm going to have a third generation.
Are you
soon.
leaving? Are you leaving right now?
No, because he's still a kid.
Okay.
So he's not old enough yet to walk up to me and say, hey, been listening to you for a few years. My dad turned me on, and his dad turned him on, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so
you guys heard it, man. He's telling you, don't let that grandson come over and say so. He's gonna leave.
I'm gonna lose it. John Santos says, you give us 30 more years of Dolphins talk. I'm hoping, man. I hope I can do this for 30 more years. I don't know if I would for 30 more years. I'm 53. At one point or another, I do want to retire because I've been grinding for a long time. That's the other thing. In today's world, I keep thinking about it. I actually had that conversation with my wife a few months back. It's like, how long do I go? Like, what do I do? Do I go to 70? Because that's what I'm thinking, right? 65, 70 is what you go to or something like that at least. And then I go to her. But then after, what do I mean, listen, eventually they kick you out of this business. You know what I'm saying? It's just they'll push you aside and they'll try to get somebody cheaper. Not that they're necessarily better, but they don't care about that. As you can tell, when you see what Intercom has done to local radio, you can tell it's just been completely destroyed. But the good thing is that I took a dive into this right here, and this allows us to control everything. Content, everything else, take care of the sponsors, the listeners. Obviously, we're all together in all of this.
Blow past the break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could do whatever we want, so it's not like I got some program director telling me about it or a producer, we got a break, and, we've got to get these 30 minutes of commercials and promos and updates inside this hour. So, you got to wrap up your 7-minute segment, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, that's a good thing. So maybe I could even extend it more with this, because it gives us the freedoms that we just don't have on regular radio, which is always nice to be.
Think about this: when you get to 70, and if you're still doing this, you could do it 3 days a week or 4 or whatever, know.
Yeah.
Or hey,
right.
Tomorrow's show is going to be an hour.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Because I'm going to the beach.
Yeah. No, you're right. I can actually take the phone with me live.
I was
just on the drive to the beach and hang out. And then I'll turn it off the second I take off my shirt. I mean, I really don't want to torture you people either. You know what I'm saying? That's just not right. Torturing is not right of human beings. Alex Lee says, everyone hit the like button. That's right, Alex. You tell them, baby. Hit that like button. Share. That's really the most important one, is sharing this YouTube link with others, or the SoundCloud or iTunes or whatever, Spotify, Stitcher, however you listen to us. Share those links with friends of yours and things like that. That's really important to get more people. And plus, man, right now, so many people are bored in their homes. They don't have a lot of things to watch or, it all depends on what you want to binge watch. You know what I'm saying? But, and especially with sports talk, there isn't a lot going on. So at least we're going to give you some stuff there. Bromar Smelly is also chiming in, which we love. Bromar, as always, a hardcore listener, watcher, all that good stuff. So we appreciate all of you out there, as always, for tuning in. We are at Craig Zinn's, Acura Pembroke Pines, like we are every Friday at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. So if you need to get a car, if you are looking for one, buying or leasing a vehicle, don't forget that they're going to give you 90 days, no payments out here to make it easier for you in the transition of these tough times. And that way you could get back on track and you could get rid of that money pit. Nobody wants a car that is constantly breaking down. Yeah, that's just going to cost you a lot more in the long run. So we got all of that going on. Now, last night I got visions of Steve Howe. I got visions of Roy Tarpley. I got visions of Antonio Brown. I got visions of Art Schlichter. I got visions of Josh Gordon. You know, that's what was going on in my mind. And over the history of sports and in different sports, we have watched people who are so gifted that the good Lord above, look, you know, one thing about whatever God you believe in, okay? But we were all created. We all have a purpose. We all have skills and talents. And part of growing up is figuring out what that skill and talent is that you have. And then if you want to use it, you go use it. If you want to use it for work benefits, to make money off of it, then you do it. If you want to use it as a hobby, then it is what it is. If you do it just for fun, then whatever. But we all have some kind of skill set in life. We just got to figure out what that is, right? And if you're interested in it, some people may not even be interested in ever finding out what they're good at or anything along those lines. But we all are. And then when you find that, and some of us have the good fortunes of using that gift to make a living, using that gift to entertain people, and also, number one, is using that gift to make a lot of money to support yourself and your family, right? I mean, ultimately, does it get any better than that? Whatever gift you were given, you might enjoy doing it, and now you're getting paid for it, which allows you to sustain yourself and your family. That is the ultimate, right? But then you see these guys that I just talked about, and they go out to ruin their careers and their lives and their reputations. And, you know, Conor McGregor's got a little bit of that in him too, right? Because he's kind of in the middle of sabotaging his own career. You know what I mean? I know he's doing a good job now trying to get it back on track, but he's done a good job of burying himself at times also. He hasn't completely buried himself, but he's in the process. Jon Jones. Here's a guy that has all those things that I talked about. They blessed him with an ability that he is the best in the world when it comes to MMA and UFC. And so when you see that this guy was arrested once again, and you start wondering, when is this guy actually going to figure it out? When's he going to, you know, when is the light going to go on for him? When is he going to say, enough is enough? I got to stop being a terrible example for kids out there, embarrassing my family, obviously embarrassing my organization, because there is no way that the UFC can be proud of that guy. It's impossible. There's no way that you're going to be proud of that guy. And let me tell you something. The UFC should get rid of Jon Jones. He's a disgrace to the UFC. He's a disgrace to mankind. Okay? So this is how the story goes. The UFC light heavyweight champion was picked up just after 1 a.m. local time in Albuquerque. By the way, what are you doing out during the pandemic at 1 o'clock in the morning? That's just one, okay? He was arrested on multiple charges: aggravated DWI, negligent use of a firearm, possession of an open container, and driving with no proof of insurance. Officer Jason Brown and Brian Johnson, not of AC/DC, were two of the officers who responded to the scene after hearing a single gunshot. By the way, what are you doing shooting a gun in the middle of the night at 1 a.m.? Why do you have a gun on you? Why are you drunk? Why are you driving? Think about all those things. The pandemic's going on. Dude, you want to drive? Brother, you got a TV, don't you? Get a video game that shows you how to drive or something, so you can drive around, look at different sites on, on a camera somewhere on a TV. Do something like that. Get drunk, get high at home. Don't bother anybody. Don't put yourself at risk. Don't put others at risk. And you're out there with a gun. I mean, it just... Anyway, so Brown approached the vehicle upon asking for the driver's side window to be rolled down. He spotted a bottle of Recuerdo tequila and a green leafy substance on his shirt pants consistent with marijuana. After identifying Jones, Officer Brown requested his registration and proof of insurance, which, according to the police report, Jones fumbled with his documents and was unable to locate his insurance information. In addition, Brown observed that Jones had an odor of alcohol coming from his facial area. The assistance of DWI Officer Johnson was requested on the scene and placed the UFC champion under arrest for DWI after he allegedly failed multiple sobriety tests, and he had twice the legal limit of alcohol. Once Brown ordered for Jones' vehicle to be towed, he located a loaded handgun under the driver's seat as well and a spent round just outside the driver's door. I mean, do you know what kind of a stupid-ass mofo you got to be to get out drunk in your car with a gun and fire it out there so people can hear it and then come get you? I mean, what is the need to fire the gun? Why? I don't understand that. Why? What are you doing at 1 a.m. that you need to fire? Did you think you were going to hit a star or something? I mean, I used to do that too, but I was like, 17, and it was like MD 2020, and I'm lying on Virginia Key with a girl or something, and we're like, with our hands, not real guns, and we're shooting stars. But, I mean, that's MD 2020, and I'm 17 years old, and, I'm just out trying to get laid and have some fun. That's it. But I'm 17. I have the age to act like a complete imbecile. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that, and this guy has been in trouble over and over. He's failed all kinds of drug tests. He's been arrested for several other things. I mean, this guy's a criminal, basically. It's what he is. But the problem is, in our society, if you can score 50 points a game and you can throw for 4 touchdowns and you can score 50 goals and whatever it is, and you can knock people out silly in the octagon, because that guy's the best ever, and you can get away with all of that because we allow you as a society. Because when you're in high school, we're taking tests for you. We've got tutors doing stuff. We got teachers changing grades. You get to college, the same stuff goes on, except now the little town cops that are in your college town, they're giving you breaks on speeding and DUI and even hitting women and whatever it is. And because you feel entitled, you will continue to do this. Jon Bones Jones knows that he can fire a gun, get arrested for DUI, and Dana White is going to kiss his ass. He's going to suck his ass and make sure he'll be in the ring again to produce money for the UFC. That's it. So Dana White knows that you're going to kiss his ass no matter what. So that's why Roy Tarpley will continue to do drugs until he gets to a point that you got to kick him out. It's the way it is. Antonio Brown has not learned a damn thing. He didn't go get any help. He's just trying to manipulate everything to get another chance. But again, because he can catch 100 balls and 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, somebody's going to sign him. No matter what. Whether he assaulted women or not, it doesn't matter to them because he can play. There's always that out, and they know it. And they know it because from high school, they were the star, and you gave them the break. And then in college, they were the star, and you gave them the break. And now they're in the professional ranks, and we continue to give them the breaks. And that's why Josh Gordon never got right. because you kept giving him the break. Letting him play football or be in the octagon or play baseball or basketball or whatever, they're not going to learn a damn thing. Every time you let Steve Howe get away with it, he'll go back to cocaine, and then the Yankees give him another chance, and he'll go back to cocaine because he knows the Yankees are going to give him another chance. And I swear to you, he must have failed like 6 or 7 drug tests when I was a kid. This has been going on forever in sports. Ray Rice, at 3 yards a carry, was going to get a 2-game suspension. Can you imagine if Ray Rice was averaging 5 yards a carry? The commissioner would have actually never suspended him. No, but he was only 3 yards, so they had to suspend him for 2 games until that film got out. And then, no more entitlement. I mean, we've created Jon Jones. We create Josh Gordon. We create Art Schlichter. We create all these guys. Steve Howe, you name it. Every one of these screw-ups, it's our fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. Why? Because the fans clamor for the guy when he becomes available. They don't care what kind of a lowlife he is. They don't care how many times he's hit a woman. They don't care if he's selling drugs. They don't care if he's pumped up with drugs. Can he score goals? Can he score baskets? Can he score touchdowns? Oh, yeah, well, we want him. And that's what Antonio Brown knows. And that's what Jon Bones Jones knows. And so that's why Johnny Manziel was Johnny Manziel. Because you kept giving him breaks. Now, problem with Johnny Manziel is he could get away with those things at high school and college because he was talented enough to get through those. When it got to the NFL, he wasn't good enough to be an NFL player, so that's why they didn't have to tolerate it very long. Because he wasn't a legitimate NFL player. But if you're legitimate, man, they will give you every break in the book. And you really, think about this. Think about you and your career, wherever you work. Think about if you did all the things that Jon Bones Jones has done throughout his career. Tell me that law office would keep you employed. Please. Tell me that you would still be a teacher. Tell me that you would still be a police officer. Please tell me that. Tell me that you would still be a jewelry expert at Beverly's Jewelers, that they'd still hire you after you did everything that Jon Bones Jones has done. Please tell me. Please tell me that any company in radio is going to keep hiring you like that. It's not going to happen. But somehow or another in sports, we are as forgiving as it gets. And partly it's your fault. You know, but I'm hoping at one point Dana White, looks in the mirror and says, we're a great organization. We're entertaining. A lot of people follow us. A lot of kids watch us. We got to start, also representing this the right way. Because what are we telling kids? Go ahead and do cocaine. Go ahead and get drunk. Go ahead and use guns. Go ahead and hit people. Go ahead and assault people, just like Jon Bones Jones. You can still work for us as long as you knock people out in the octagon. We don't care about the crimes you're committing outside of the octagon. That's basically what you're saying. That's why when to me, I just saw that yesterday, and it's like, this guy's just a pathetic piece of crap. Is what and please don't tell me about his substance issues. I don't want to hear about that, man. I don't care about that. I'm tired about all that stuff. At one point or another, you got to look in the mirror and you got to want to change. And he doesn't want to change. Do you know why? He doesn't have to change. So why am I going to have any sympathy for a guy that doesn't want to change and then a system that doesn't force him to change? It enables him to continue to be a scumbag and still be in the octagon. So what about if that bullet he fires up in the air and lands on somebody and hurts him? Then what? I saw that story, and all those names went through my mind because I've seen this story all throughout my entire life. It's just the faces are different. It might be in different sports. That's all. They're Hispanic, and they're white, and they're Asian, and they're black, and they're Cuban and Puerto Rican, and they come from all kinds of parts all over the world. They're human beings, and they're extremely flawed. It's all the same. They just look different, but it's the exact same person. Nothing changes. They all bleed red, and they're all enabled. Every single one of them. And they know it. And that's what we've told them. We've told them, hey, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll cover up for you. We'll give you a break. We'll find a way to get you back on the ice, on the field, on the court, in the octagon. You keep doing your thing. And that's why you're going to get people to be like that. Because they know that in the back of their minds, they know they're going to get away with it. So for me, I just hope that Dana White and the UFC has some kind of scruples, and they finally put this crap to rest with this guy. He deserves to be in a dark place for the rest of his life. He needs to be, casted aside. He needs to be treated like what he is, a scumbag, a lowlife. That's all. Don't give me this that he's got issues and he's got problems. No. This guy is an abuser. Okay? He abuses everything. He abuses your confidence. He abuses your loyalty. He abuses your opportunities. And, of course, he abuses substances left and right. And he's going to abuse the law, too, on top of all of that, because he can get away with all of it. So whatever you do, Dana White, do the right thing, man. It's not a suspension for 6 months. It's not a suspension for a year. Don't even put an indefinite suspension on it. Put a lifetime ban. He is no longer allowed to ever represent the UFC. That's the only way to go about it with Jon Jones. Put him on a little raft, cast his ass out to sea, and let him fend for himself for the rest of his life. Period. Sponsors drop him. I don't even know what sponsor's still tied to him. What sponsor would be tied to that guy? Who, the insurance companies that are allowing Tanya Harding and Johnny Manziel? Is it insurance or is it car? I don't even know what it is. Which, again, I'm thinking that company gets who thought that Johnny Manziel would be good as a spokesman? I don't even take you serious anymore as a company when you have Johnny Manziel and Tanya Harding as spokespeople. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I think it's insurance. I want to say it's insurance. But everybody should leave Jon Jones. And then, so he can learn what it's like. He needs to really, really, really get a dose of reality. No more adulation, no more fans, no more octagon, none of that. Where you are just forgotten and casted aside. That's what he needs. Okay? He needs that so that way every time you look at him with disgust. The kind of look that OJ pretty much gets on a daily basis. Of course, there are a couple of idiots. Let me go take a picture with OJ because, there's always morons that want to, gravitate to, I don't know why they think it's attractive to take a picture with a scumbag, but whatever. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We're out here, by the way, at Craig Zinn's, Acura, Pembroke Pines, and we're out here on the broadcasting over on the east side. And on the east side of the lot, we've got a lot of the cars here, the pre-owned, certified pre-owned vehicles, and I swear to you, they look like they're brand new. You go in there, you got a beautiful showroom. You got hundreds and hundreds of cars, brand new cars, certified pre-owned vehicles, used cars, all makes, all models to fit all kinds of budgets. And by the way, when you buy or lease a brand new Acura, we're going to give you 90 days, no payments to make it nice and easy for you in that transition. So right now you got some time. You're frustrated with your current vehicle. You're tired of it breaking down and ending up in the mechanic and costing you a lot of money in the long run. Come on down. Let's trade it in at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest Acura dealership on the planet, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty. Somebody out there, we got next. Oh, disgrace to mankind, don't go there. Dude, I went there. You don't like it, you can turn it off. We got next. All right? Jon Jones is a disgrace. He's a disgusting and despicable individual. So, yes, he's a disgrace to mankind. How do you like that, dude? All right? Anybody out there driving drunk, you're a disgrace to mankind. You don't like it, bro? Get lost. That's all. Again, you're an enabler. We got next. There you go. You want to be forgiving of these lowlifes. I'm not, man. I'm not. I don't have sympathy for you. I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy at all for Jon Jones. He's got everything at his disposal. He's got life by the balls. He's one of the great fighters of all time in that sport. He can make plenty of money. He can set examples. And yet what he is a disgrace as a human being. Okay? We got Russell Wilson that knows how to represent himself on and off the field. We got Drew Brees that knows how to represent himself on and off the field. Look at those guys. Go look at those people. Those are leaders, man. Those are the best in their sports, and they lead by example. They're men. They're making huge donations right now during the coronavirus attack that's going on. They carry themselves like real men. Jon Jones is nothing but a punk. And that's all he's ever been. He's the guy that is when he's in a press conference, he's telling his opponent that he beat him while he was drunk and coked out. And bragging about it like that's an accomplishment. So we got next, okay? If that's the way, you are the problem with our society, my brother. Okay? You are the problem. You are the enabler that I'm talking about. You're the reason why Antonio Brown is what he is. You're the reason why Josh Gordon continues to screw up. You're the reason why Johnny Manziel is a complete buffoon and an idiot. You're the reason why. Because you overlook everything that they do because they can entertain you on the court, the ice, the field, the pitch, the octagon. So that sorry-ass text that you sent in, we got next, that pathetic, weak-ass text that you got, oh, don't go there, mankind. That's right. You know why? Because you have a low IQ of how you look at mankind. Because in your eyes, it's all right to be Antonio Brown. And in your eyes, it's all right to be Jon Jones. It's just a mistake. No, it's not just a mistake. That's exactly, I'm glad you sent that text because it's a perfect example. People like you create these losers. You create Roy Tarpley, dude. You're the guy. You're the guy that creates Art Schlichter. You're the guy. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, or if you want to send in a pathetic text just like we got next. Tell you, bro. Disgusting. Oh, don't go there. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Give me a break. I say that that's under assumption. We draft a QB. I don't even know what the hell that conversation in here. Dougie Fresh says, I got here, no hookers here today. No, at least they haven't shown up today. No hookers yet. Cheyenne Moore says, I bet Fitz is pushing for Jameis. I'm pushing for him. Why not? And Myron goes, I was going to tell we got next that, but that guy must be like him. Yeah, no, of course. When you got sympathy for that, and you know that's the problem. We don't hold people to a higher standard, and especially athletes and entertainers. We just like keep giving them every break in the book that you don't get and I don't get. That's the amazing part. Think about that. They live by a completely different set of rules and laws than we do. We do the same things, and we are ostracized and kicked out of society forever, dude. We're done. We're cooked. We're living under a bridge. One guy says, I've been pushing for him for the longest. I don't know what that. Oh, you talk about Jameis? Yep, that would. What else do we have here? With all the chances they give in the NFL, sad that Cap gets straight blackballed. Yeah, but that's true and not true. Okay, we've talked about this before. You can go back. Cap's a phony. Cap doesn't want to play quarterback. He's a liar. Okay, so let's not, that's an old conversation, but, if you want to fall for the banana in the tailpipe, you go ahead. Cap just wants, he wanted his lawsuit. He didn't want to play football. Okay? I've already told you guys this. I've already done this rant already. Warren Moon went to the CFL when they told him he wasn't good enough. So did Jeff Garcia. So did Cam Wake. So did Mark Dixon. Plenty of people have gone to the CFL to go prove that they're worthy. And that's what he should have done. The second he got kicked out of the league, he should have gone right to the CFL, proved to everybody that he really wanted to play. He balls out, and then somebody has to sign him. But he's never really wanted to play. He's wanted to be the martyr. He's wanted to be the poster child for the whole thing. That's all. And even when he had that fake workout, he grandstanded. He really didn't want to play. He wanted to show up the NFL. And that's not going to get him any. The NFL is too powerful, bro. He's an ant. They're going to crush your ass. That's why they can do free agency, and no other sport's going to do it. And now they're going to do the draft, and no other sport's going to do it. Everybody else is pushing back their drafts and everything else. The NFL is like, no, dude, we're going to do it now, whether you like it or we don't, because we are the NFL. They're the ones that come to the negotiation tables, and there is no negotiation. They tell the TV companies, here's what you're going to pay, and they pay it. There's no you will negotiate with the NBA. You'll do great negotiations with MLB, and definitely plenty of great negotiations with the NHL, because we're going down the totem pole of less and less power. The NFL has got so much power, they sit down on the table and they tell you, here's the price for the rights. And there's no discussion. You sign it or you don't, and they get somebody else. So that's, if Cap thinks he was going to take on the NFL, he's a moron. Okay? And they smoked him also and everything in the lawsuit too. That guy's a phony. That's the problem with Cap. Your bigger problem should be that Cap is a phony more than anything else. That guy never wanted to be a quarterback again. He thought he was going to make it a big old thing with this, and he's made his money with Nike every year now. He's fine. He's well taken care of. Don't worry about Cap, but please don't make it sound like he's dying to play quarterback. He wasn't. Let's see. If Miami signs Winston, we can watch all the experts scramble to redo their mock drafts. I would still draft a quarterback at some point in the draft. Do you think the Dolphins are still pursuing Clowney? No, I don't think so. They offered what they offered, and he turned it down, and that's it. You move on. That's all. Notice that they don't really, kiss ass. They make their decisions, and they move on. And they offered a very fair deal, and a deal that wasn't going to tie them down to anything long-term. It wasn't going to be high risk, and it wasn't overpaying. That's the beauty, because he's not a great pass rusher. He's a good pass rusher. He's a very good disruptor, but he's not the guy that's going to be getting you 15 sacks a year. So $17 million was more than enough. Always preaching, and a Roy Tarpley reference. Damn. Yeah? Yeah. Well, that's what it reminds me of. What position is Van Noy going to play, and is Lawson going to play standing up on that dime? Or on that D-line, I'm sorry. Yes, he'll play outside. Van Noy will play outside linebacker. Like a DN, outside linebacker, that kind of stuff is what you'll see. Both guys will be edge guys, is what you'll see out of them. Shout out to Jeff Garcia. There you go. NHL is only fun watching at the game, drinking tons of beer and watching them fight. Well, I mean, hockey live is God. There's no doubt about that. George says, please tell your boy Omar Kelly how much of a fraud Cap is. Why Omar defends him? Well, maybe he fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I can't do anything about that. Plenty of people have fallen for the banana in the tailpipe with phony-ass Cap. So it's not just an Omar thing if that's the case. All right, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And remember, as always, to give us the thumbs up while you're watching, thumbs down, whatever you want, and share the link here on YouTube with friends and family members. There you go. FinFan70 says, I love Simmons. That's Bill's boy, little Isaiah Simmons. All right. The other thing that I got to talk about, and I know some of you young folks out there, I'm going to kind of lose a little bit here. Stay with me here for a couple seconds just to kind of give my respects. But Fred Curly Neal passed away yesterday at the age of 77, which, first of all, I thought he was older than 77. But he is probably the second most famous Globetrotter ever. Meadowlark Lemon's got to be number one, and I would say Curly Neal's number two. Goose, right? Goose was the other guy that was kind of funny. That was also a very popular one. But I would say Curly was number two. And maybe, that was my favorite Globetrotter. So he might be number one for some people. Meadowlark Lemon was like the mouthpiece, so he's got to be, the number one guy. But Curly was a favorite for a lot of people.
Curly was also like the shot in front of the bus, the cartoon that they had.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
He was the shortest guy, though. He was
Yeah.
the littlest dude.
Yeah. And his dribbling skills were absolutely awesome. And that was one of the things that you admired about, Curly Neal, that you knew they weren't a real NBA team. You knew they all had skills, obviously. Some of them played professional basketball and all of that. And a lot of them all played, college basketball. But there were certain things that they would do. And I think, if I remember correctly, Curly was the one that used to make the full court shot all the time. Somebody help me out there. I was thinking about that yesterday. I should have YouTubed that stuff. I probably would have found some stuff like that. But if I remember correctly, help me out. Was it Curly or was it Goose that used to throw? No, it wasn't Goose. Might have been somebody else. But again, this is so long ago. And I'm talking about the Globetrotters when they had characters, when they had famous names. Because obviously the Globetrotters have continued, but they don't have any kind of fame whatsoever nowadays. Those Globetrotters were actually famous. They had their own cartoons. Meadowlark Lemon was a guy that was on TV shows and stuff like that. He would just show up and everybody knew, hey, that's Meadowlark Lemon.
Battle of the Network Stars,
yeah, whatever.
And all that.
Yeah, he was all over the place. I wouldn't even be surprised if Meadowlark Lemon was on a Love Boat episode or something. You know what I'm saying? So they were part of the pop culture scene back in the day when I was a child. I went to see them and everything. When they would come to town, my mom would take me to go see the Harlem. It was one of those things that if you were a kid back in the 70s to very early 80s, I would say, it kept going, but those guys, I'm talking about the famous Globetrotters. That was a thing. I don't care what city you lived in. If they came to your town, you were begging your parents, if you were a sports guy, okay, or girl, you were begging your parents, please take me to the Globetrotters. Because back in those days, some kids even thought, they would smoke NBA teams because of the way they passed the ball and all that stuff and all the tricks and all that they used to do.
You know what I'm thinking of? Remember Meadowlark taking the hook, like somewhere half court?
Yeah.
And somewhere, maybe a little inside of half. And, dude, he would make it.
Was I right? Was I right? Was Curly the one that would make the full court shot?
For some reason, I want to say that, yeah, he was.
Somebody help me out there because there was a
If
Globetrotter that would make the full court shot routine. Okay? I'm not talking about like they did like 15 throws. No. On the one shot, boom, it was in. I don't know, but that's, maybe one of you can YouTube it and find out for me. Let me see. Man of 1050 says even Magic played for the Globetrotters. Well, he definitely could have. What else? Brown and I. Oh, no. You and Chris Russo are the only ones in radio to tell things like they really are. Oh, Mark McIntyre. Well, Mad Dog, Mad Dog's not afraid to say it like it is. That's been my style from day one, and I'm not changing, man. I'm not changing. Now, I'll tell you, my style is not the one that the corporate bigwigs like, okay? The regular program directors, they have a hard time handling it, okay? So I would not suggest anybody who wants to get in this business, try to approach my style. Not a popular one. You're going to have to do a lot of fighting in the background. Let's see, what else do we have here? Derek Brown may fall to 18. I don't think Derek Brown falls to 18. He's really good, dude. Really, really good. I don't think he gets out of the top 10. I don't. So I don't believe that, Manny Machine. I would have to disagree with you on that one. Listen, if you guaranteed me he would last 18, I would go freaking nuts if the Dolphins ended up with Brown at 18. That would be like I don't know. That would be a party, bro. Like, I wouldn't even care about the rest of the draft after us. Like, we got that guy at 18. Are you kidding me? That guy's a monster. Would love that guy. I am joking about the rest. I'm just saying it would freak me out. I would, like, lose all train of thought. Like, are you serious? We got that guy at 18? That would be so awesome. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. So, and in wrapping, just, thoughts and prayers to the Neal family. But I will say I did kind of freak out that I saw 77 for Curly Neal, and being 53, I thought he was older than 77. I did. So he was, pretty young in those days when he was doing his thing with the Globetrotters. That was cool.
I guess it was the bald thing that made you he looked like
Right.
a little old man.
Right,
Because he was the littlest guy, right?
Right, yeah. Well, he was a guard,
But
yeah.
like I said, yes, man, I can remember him at half court being on one knee and dribbling the ball. And I mean, the ball literally like 2 inches off and just and do that 360 on one knee all the way around the ball. And it's like, how the hell is he doing that?
Yeah. He was a phenomenal dribbler. I mean, you're talking about a sick dribbler. That was the thing that always wowed us. But nobody's been able to either confirm with me or give me another name on who used to hit the half court shots. The full court shots.
I see that they set world records for making the most half court shots in an hour.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that that's the case.
And there's all kinds of highlights of half-court shot from the stands, and the guy swooshes it.
I remember the full court shot. That to me was the amazing part. He would make the full court shot absolute routine. I thought that was really, really cool. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. And this coronavirus obviously is extremely serious. And that Rudy Gobert was the guy that triggered it on the sports side, correct? That's the one that really shocked the world, maybe saved a lot of lives in the process. We saved a lot of athletes from going through the, whatever discomfort you're going to go through with corona, because it seems like it's really bad for some people, it's bothersome for others, and then for others it's not so bad at all. And, most people are recovering from it, which is great. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are going down with it, and then there's a lot of people that we're losing. Well, an NBA cameraman who shot the footage inside the Jazz locker room in March is now in a coma due to the coronavirus. So while Gobert has been able to recover and Donovan Mitchell, no problem, well, the guy that worked the Jazz-Pistons game on March 7th has now come down with the coronavirus, and he is now in a medically induced coma following being diagnosed with the coronavirus. And according to Yahoo Sports, the cameraman, who's in his 50s, was just 4 days before the NBA suspended the league indefinitely. The cameraman has worked for years as part of the broadcast at games in the Little Caesars Arena. It's unknown when, where, or how the man contracted the virus. He's been hospitalized since March 18th. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell have both tested positive. Christian Wood of the Pistons also tested positive as well. So the NBA obviously then suspended the season after that. But there's a man that is now in an induced coma and was covering Rudy Gobert. And again, he might have given it to Rudy Gobert. Somebody else might have given it to him and Rudy Gobert. You just don't know. You just don't know where you got it at all. You don't know how long you've been carrying it. For all of us, and I know that you go through the same things I do every day. You're just okay, I don't have a fever, I don't have that cough, and I don't have a shortness of breath. And it's another day that goes by, and you're just grateful that at least you're not seeing those symptoms. You still could have it, but at least you're not seeing the serious symptoms, which then would lead you to more problems. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of us walking around with it. You know, and it's just one of those things that we got to walk around with it and eventually get rid of it, and our bodies will, you know, eventually get rid of it, and maybe we didn't even know we had it because we, you know how many of us are going to have the corona, get rid of the corona, and not know we had the corona? Because it's not like we can go get tested for the hell of it. I mean, did you see that piece from that doctor in New York? How she was walking everybody through what was going on and how they're even wearing trash bags because they don't have the proper equipment for protection. She has to wear her N95 mask, the same one she wore all day one day, which you're not even supposed to wear it all day. You're supposed to be able to switch them out. She actually had to wear it again another day for an entire day again. I mean, that's just disgusting, dude.
Well, Trump said you should be able to just disinfect that, right?
Well, I mean, what you do is there's
No, you know he actually said that, right?
No, I know, but there's filters that come with it, and you can change the filters because I have the N95.
The guts, the internal that's touching you.
I have one in my car. I'm not kidding you. I have one in my car. If I need one and I have to get off somewhere, I have it in my car. In fact, after the break at the top of the hour, I should go get my mask just so I can show it off there. I'm not. You guys know me, man. I don't live the life of the BS, bro. I tell you, plain and simple, good or bad, whatever it is. I tell you how it is. And to watch that piece by that doctor yesterday, that was heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking. Wow. The fact that we can't provide our medical team in this country everything that they need to do their jobs, and they're putting their lives at risk to save others. Ultimate heroes, man. We got thousands of heroes across this country right now, across the world. You know what? Let me say across the world, because there are medical professionals everywhere all over the world risking their lives to save us. It's pretty amazing stuff. All right, we got 1 hour down. We got a couple more to go. Don't forget that this podcast, of course, and this program is proudly brought to you by Moody S Dental. We love talking about Eric and all the great people out there at Moody S Dental. And right now, if you're in pain, you're dealing with some kind of cavity or some kind of discomfort, and you can't get out, but you can go to the dentist, okay, because that's a necessity. We don't want you in pain. Look, it's painful enough that some of us can't work. It's painful enough going through this process. For some people, it's painful enough being locked up with their loved ones, whatever. But we don't want you to go through pain with your mouth, okay? So if you are suffering, call Moody S Dental. They're ready to help you out. 305-821-0231. I tell you about the Invisaligns. I tell you about the implants. But, man, if you want to get a cavity fixed, you want to fix your teeth right now, I'm telling you, they will do it for you. And I've told you this before. If you're getting an implant, if you're getting a crown, they build the tooth right there. They've got a machine that constructs the tooth within minutes. They take a digital imprint, the measurements. They put those measurements in the machine. In minutes, they make it, so you don't have to come back a second time for the crown. You don't have to come back a second time for the implant. It's all done right there at Moody S Dental. 305-821-0231. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you at moodySdental.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight. tonight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I wonder how it sounds. Muffled, right? I sound muffled, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, this is my N95 mask right here. Yeah, I know I didn't get it just regular. I got a little stylish with it. You know, red is one of those colors that I love, by the way. It's one of my favorite colors. So if I can get something in red, I was actually going to get my Camry in red up until I saw that other color that was just really, really nice. So what do you think, guys? Ladies? Do I look terrible?
I will say you have it on right because they tell you to put it right up against the skin. Anybody that's wearing a mask, if you don't have that mask up against your skin, the stuff gets up underneath the mask.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Here's my mask. So I told you I wasn't lying. I told you I was ready for it.
You know what?
No matter what. If I want to go into a store, I have my mask ready.
Can I tell you?
What's that?
You look like something out of Road Warrior.
Yeah, that's somebody said Spider-Man. So you're supposed to have the filters, you see? And I have these filters. You buy them, and you get these, and you can replace them because you screw them on here with this. This is where you clip them on from the other side. And so then these are the filters that you...
But you can wash them, though.
Yeah, you can wash them. Yeah, but they're replaceable. I got a whole bunch of replacements.
But don't they tell you can wash them?
Yeah, but I'd rather replace it with a brand new one. So I got a whole bunch of replacements. I ended up getting masks for me, the wife, the daughter, mother-in-law, all that, and then we've got filters, and so then I carry this now. I have this in my glove, and I carry it just in case if I'm going to get off at the supermarket or somewhere. Now I'm putting that on and going. If I go to places where there's a bunch of people, I'm going to put it on, man. I'm going to put it on. You know, I have no choice. It's the world we live in right now. So I'd rather be protected than unprotected. And please don't tell me that I could get it in my eyes and my ears. That's fine. That's fine if I can get it in my eyes and my ears and that risk is there, is fine. But now I've lessened the risk of it going through my nose and my mouth, which is where it's going to go through more often than not. That's how we get most of our viruses and viruses and colds and all kinds of stuff like that.
It goes up into your nasal cavity, which has mucous membrane, which gives it moisture, and that's why it's able to live and thrive.
Right, exactly. So I'd rather have the mask and be safe. Listen, like I've already had this discussion with you guys. The medical professionals are wearing masks. There's a reason why they're wearing masks. And they wear these N95 masks, okay? So if they're wearing them, I'm going to wear it, man. And that's it. It's pretty simple. Good thing is we're out in the open here. We're on the roof. We're away from everybody. It's really only me and Bill here. That's it. We don't really run into people. So it's an extremely safe broadcast for us.
By the way, I'm thinking about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We could have used the fans today, brother.
Oh, I have them in the car? You want me to get them? I have them in the car. They're in the trunk.
Should we?
It's,
I mean, do you feel like you could use a fan?
I mean, I could use a little bit of a fan right now. It's starting to get a little sticky.
Brother, I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah.
You know have you noticed since this has happened, every day's been beautiful outside?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we need this heat. So just in case. GPP Central N95 mask for all week. All week, she said. Show us the mask. Well, I showed it to you. Doing his show with a mask would go viral on Twitter. I would do the show with the mask, but you heard it. It just sounds kind of muffled. You can't hear me clearly. So, Troy George Wilkins is not a bust. You put Wilkins, Brown, and Godchow. Who would say Wilkins is a bust? The guy played well last year as a first-round pick. He came on, dude. He was playing well. It just takes a little while. Where did you buy the mask, Big O? I bought it on Amazon. I bought it about a month and a half ago. No, about a month ago. About something like that. Early on, when this thing was going on, I went and got the masks and got some other stuff. We did not waste any time in our house, dude.
Well, it was more about us traveling.
Yeah,
that was coming.
Oh
up,
yeah, no,
that's what it was.
I was going to use this in Vegas too. If I was going to Vegas. One, I'm using these from now on. Even after Corona's done, I will wear this in the airport and in the planes every single time. Okay? Guaranteed. All right? I'm a weirdo on the plane. Like a total weird. Like if you don't know me and you see me on the plane, you're like, "Whoa, what's wrong with that dude?" Because when I get on a plane, I bring my own blanket and my own pillow, okay? 2 pillows. Those travel pillows, I have 2 of them. And I use one for my neck so I can lay back, and then the other one I used and I put it on the handle where, the arm handle. So when I put my elbow down, when I lean this way, it's on a cushion instead of on that hard plastic. And, you're on a plane for a while. So then I can lean. I usually get the window seat to do that. And then the blanket, I usually trap it around my mouth. So I'm not breathing everything inside the airplane as much. I'm breathing just myself instead, my own germs. And so now I'm thinking about this. I'm going to take the mask from now on. That way I don't have to use a blanket and cover. I don't have to be, worried about holding the blanket to cover my face.
By the way, everybody on the plane appreciates the fact you're keeping your cooties to yourself.
Exactly. Well, that too. Oh, you know what? You laugh, but it's true. I don't want somebody else's cooties, and if I have any, I'm keeping them within myself. Yeah, no, that's I'm doing others a favor too. So yeah, there you go. So I got it on Amazon a while back. I don't, now searches are going to be a lot harder, but yeah, I got them in different colors too. The wife and the daughter, I got them blue ones. I got the old lady a different color one. So, yeah. Let's see. The next time you wear your mask, can you recite lines from Bane from Batman? I like it. What's up, boys? I love that I got called out by Bill yesterday. Sorry I haven't been able to see you guys. My wife is a doctor, and I'm working from home with the kids. Stay safe, everybody. Wow. Your wife's a hero, bro, and you're a stud staying with the kids. Nice job by you, Nico. John Rouse says, Big O, you may as well wear a Jason mask to really protect you. I mean, if it wasn't so scary, maybe I would wear a Jason mask.
You know what you could do? You could pull the mic off the stand, get up and go, just walk away. We won't do nothing. Just walk away from the oil.
Wish I could do. I just can't do. Unfortunately, I can't do the damn show with this thing on, man, because, see, it's just, it's muffled. Can't do it, man. Unfortunately. It is comfortable. It doesn't bother me. That's the cool thing.
Yeah, they say it's lightweight.
Yeah.
It's adjustable around your ears so you could get the right snug.
Yeah. This one is cool. The one with the little strings, that one's, that's not the same. That one's not. And that one doesn't have like this one that has the trap in there that it sticks to the to your nose, and so you can bend it in so that way nothing comes in either. That's very, very important, man. So there you go. Big O, a.k.a. Mil Máscaras. Nice. That's a classic. That's a throwback right there. A little Mil Máscaras. I love that from back in the day when I was a kid, the wrestling dude. Yeah, not into wrestling, but that guy I do remember. Do you have the Bruce Arians sound I sent you? Let's pull up Bruce Arians because Antonio Brown, okay, is a guy that's been mentioned with Tom Brady. Now, a lot of people thought, well, maybe, Tom Brady now signs with the Bucs, and will Antonio Brown follow? Because a lot of people feel like Antonio Brown could be, going with Tom Brady wherever Tom Brady goes. So he was on CBS with Tiki and Turney, and they asked the coach about signing Antonio Brown and joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here was Bruce Arians' answer.
Is there anything else that is going to happen in this offseason? Because there's speculation that Antonio Brown wants to come down there and play with you. Now, you know him a little bit, obviously, from the Pittsburgh Steelers days. What's the likelihood AB gets back in Tampa? Because I know he has, or at least Tom has had an affinity for him because of his work ethic. Forget all the other antics, but just how he works on the field and in practice. It's top of the line.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
There you go.
It's not going to happen. There's no room.
Yeah.
And probably not enough money, but it's just not going to happen. It's not a fit here.
Interesting. Well, there is room though, because you lost Perriman. I don't know if he says I'm coming in on the veteran minimum, coach. I just want to play with Tom. You still wouldn't find a way to get him in?
No.
Wow. Is it just because you don't trust what he could do to the culture? Why so steadfast that you would not give it a chance?
Yeah, I just know him, and it's not a fit in our locker room.
I don't think you need to say anything else. You're not a fan. Understood. Gotcha. Okay.
I love it. And Bruce told you it's not a fit in the locker room. We don't have room. We don't have money. I don't know how many different ways.
He was really trying to not. He was trying to be nice.
But he told you in every way possible, I don't want his ass on this team. Okay? And that's awesome, dude. I love Bruce Arians, that he's so brutally honest. That's the best way to be, period, in life. You'd rather, not screw around and tell people where you're coming from. That way there's no misunderstandings. And I got to tell you, that's smart man. Look, you got two awesome receivers anyways in Godwin and Evans. I mean, you've got maybe the best tandem of receivers in the NFL. You could argue that with those two guys. And then you got, I know Bruce's offense isn't tight end friendly, but it will become tight end friendly now that Tom Brady's there. And Tom Brady in his opening press conference also talked about Cameron Brate and OJ. He's got two excellent tight ends, two dominant wide receivers. He's got weapons galore, man. All they need to do is really improve their running backs. And my boy Ronald Jones II did improve, because I'm a fan of Ronald Jones. I like him. And he hasn't really busted through yet. And that's been a little bit disappointing. But he did finish the season strong, so maybe he's coming close to turning the corner. But they still should draft another running back. Yeah, because you got to protect yourself, and you got to get another playmaker back there. You got to get somebody that pushes Jones or takes over for Jones. One of the two. But Brady needs, and he has to be dynamic too. He has to catch the ball too. But that's the only thing they need now, obviously, and they got to tweak the offensive line a little bit if they can and make that a little better. But outside of that, Brady doesn't need Antonio Brown at all. And I love that. I love that Bruce Arians told you brutally the truth, because that's the way it should be. And he is a cancer. And look, he's got all kinds of pending lawsuits. He's not even close to being out of the trees here and out of the forest, as they say, when it comes to trouble. But having said all that, here's a guy that's only going to create more trouble and more headaches. And guess what, folks? If you give him a job this year in the NFL coming up, then all you've done is you've told Antonio Brown you can continue to get away with everything you've done. This goes back to our conversation when we started the show with Jon Jones. If you're the NFL, you have to say, enough's enough, dude. We don't need your kind in this league. I mean, the NFL will live, dude. We watched Joe Montana leave, and we watched Barry Sanders walk out on us, and Jerry Rice retired, and so did Mean Joe Green, and Bruce Smith, and so on and so forth. The league has survived and thrived. Tons of great players have actually just retired. The idiots, we can push them out the door with no problem. Don't worry. The league will be fine without Antonio Brown. The league doesn't need Antonio Brown. I get maybe UFC does need Jon Jones because they don't have a lot of superstars. But you got to make a decision. You got to draw the line in the sand and say, yeah, we need him, but not at this price. We don't need a superstar that's a scumbag representing our organization. Got to make a tough decision at one point or another. And Bruce Arians made an easy decision. The easy decision is, I don't want the drama. The easy decision is, I don't need the headaches. The easy decision is, I don't need the 2 a.m. call, oh, I got arrested. Oh, I got in a fight with a delivery man. Oh, I'm not paying this person or that person. Oh, I'm sexually assaulting a woman. Oh, I'm throwing furniture out the 14th floor of my condo, almost killing a child. You don't need that. Bruce Arians is smart. He needed a quarterback this offseason. He didn't need a wide receiver. He's got plenty wide receivers in Tampa. Now, let me give you the second part of this Antonio Brown, Tom Brady story that I'm going to call complete BS. Are you ready for this? Tom Brady doesn't like Antonio Brown. Tom Brady isn't friends with Antonio Brown. Tom Brady isn't really like standing on a table all over the place fighting for Antonio Brown. Let me tell you what Tom Brady is doing with Antonio Brown, okay? We've all experienced this at one point or another in our lives. You run into somebody that you think they're crazy. No, scratch that. You get to know somebody that you know they're crazy. So, what is it with crazy people? Do you want to agitate them? No. Do you want to kind of appease them and just let them feel like they're wanted and knowing and that you're listening to them? But you're always trying to avoid them as much as possible. But when you have the run-ins with them, you just want to be nice. Because you just don't need a crazy person on your bad side. Right? And to me, that's what Tom Brady is. Tom Brady has played with Antonio Brown, hung out with Antonio Brown, and goes, wow, this guy's crazy. All right, so you know what? I don't need the headaches. I don't need to be in his negative headlines. So I'll treat him like a friend, and I'll let him talk all his BS. And I'll say, yeah, sure, Antonio, I'm rooting for you, man. Hey, anything I can do for you, just tell me. You know, people tell you, hey, you need something, call me. They really don't want you to call them, but they're just being nice and say, hey, if you need something, call me. Inside, they're like, really, don't bother me, bro. I'm just being nice and just saying it. You do pick up the phone and call, hey, you know, you offered, I really want to do, and inside they're cringing like, oh, damn it, I was just being nice. That's all Tom Brady's doing. He's being nice to a tipo loco. He's being nice to the crazy guy that he doesn't need the heat. He sees what's going on with Big Ben, and he's like, I don't want any part of that. He saw what happened with Peyton Manning and his free agency, helicopters flying all over in every city, and they're following him, and it's headline news on ESPN where he lands, and all that stuff. And Tom Brady's like, nope, I'm not doing that either. Tom is one of those guys that checks the landscape, analyzes it, and then says, okay, I'm going another way on this. He went another way on his free agent search. He didn't want to go the Peyton Manning route. He went under the radar. He went Lincoln Tunnel on your ass. Okay? And then he's doing with Antonio Crazy Ass Brown what you have done, what I have done over the years when we run into people that we know they're not mentally stable. We just appease it. We just give them the positive encouragement, be nice to them, because we just want to get out. We just want to get out of the conversation. We just want to walk out of the building. We just want to get out of the room with that crazy person. But we just want, oh, yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, yeah, man, I know you're working hard. No, I know, man, I know you deserve to be back in the league, dude. I'll do everything I can to help you out. And then Tom Brady walks away and he can pick up the phone and say, hey, AB, man, I talked to Bruce, but, something's going on with you and Bruce. He just was not having it, man. I'm so sorry. I really fought for you. Oh, I know, man. I know you. I know you did, Tom. I know. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I love you, man. Tom hangs up, and it's like, man, it's another conversation with the crazy guy. That's all it is. That's all it is. Tom Brady is using the tack we all use with crazy people. That's it. Don't agitate them. Don't get them pissed off. Don't get them riled up. Just give them that mental massage. That's all. Just enough so you can get the hell out of the conversation, the room, the building, wherever you're stuck with them. That's all. We've all done it. Tom's just doing it publicly now in front of everybody. Those two are not friends. Mark says, no one is indispensable in any sport. People who think otherwise have lost perspective. There is an old saying, the graveyards are filled with indispensable men. I like it. Let's see. Douglas says, oh, he's talking to Troy. What else do we have here? Luis Vasquez, out here in the Corona Cal, hustling, taking care of our elderlies, N95 to protect our golden citizens. There you go, my man. T-Bone says, Zach Moss, running back out of Utah, looks like a young Frank Gore. The guy's a stud and a steal. I like him. He's a good player. Let's see. Big O, did you go do your homework? Oh, dude, I did not do my homework. I am so terrible, T-Bone. I have let you down a couple days in a row with that. Every time I have forgotten to do my homework because I am so worried about looking at, trying to find stuff to talk about, and I keep forgetting about that. I have to do that list over the weekend. That's just not right. I'm so sorry, T-Bone. I mean, we got plenty of time for the draft. That's the good thing. It's not like the draft is this weekend, and then, I don't have time for the list. But I will do. You know what? This weekend, I'm going to do a special podcast just for that. A draft podcast. How about that? There we go. That'll be a separate podcast that I'll do over the weekend. Maybe on Sunday, I'm not doing a show on Sirius. So I will do a little podcast, a short one, and I will go over, it's not going to be a 3-4 hour show or anything, but, we'll do a half hour, 45 minutes or something, and we'll do a lot of draft talk. Okay? I'll do that over the weekend just to kind of give you guys a little some on that and take care of you, T-Bone. I am so sorry, man. I have screwed up big time. Saw a piece on Tua last night. Trent Dilfer talking to Rich Eisen, talking up Tua like he's healthier than a horse. He's saying Tua's healthier than before he broke his hip. None of that means anything because he's not durable. So, yeah, they can tell me all that stuff. NorCal likes my concert shirt today. Like the Van Halen concert shirt? Whipped out a Van Halen one. Go Gators goes, hey, did you talk about Jon Jones today? Yes, we have, thoroughly. Check it out.
That was actually the show BB&T.
What are you talking about?
No, you know what?
Oh, this Halen one?
You know what? No, the other one, the one I was told you I almost wore today. That's got the bluish and the rainbowish colors.
Right.
That's the one. Oh man, David Lee Roth talked for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, he's been doing that for years now.
Coral Sky.
Yeah. Let's see. Placerville, California, tuning in. Hope all the crew and listeners are healthy and in good spirits. Fins for life. I like it. Ray Alvarez says, Big O, remember Arbandale, flash from the past, Tua or Herbert? Neither one. And yes, I do remember Arbandale. Yes, love Arbandale. And I guess Ray is new to it, but I'm not a Tua guy because he's injury prone. Love him as a passer. Can't trust him to stay healthy. And Herbert, not a fan. So neither guy at 5, if that's what you're asking. And obviously I wouldn't even trade up for any of those guys. I am the guy that says get a position player, get a lineman at number 5. Okay? Get me an O tackle, get me a D tackle, get me an impactful plug-in player at number 5. That's it. That's my thing. All right? So we just talked a little bit about Antonio Brown. The other story, by the way, besides Bruce Arians, now that Antonio Brown is not going to play with, with Tom Brady in Tampa, and he may not play in the NFL again, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't want to play in the NFL. Now he tweeted out a picture of him and Lamar Jackson and then put scary sight on it. So that's his new thing now. Now he wants to play for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, look, he's running out of teams, right? That's the thing with him. Every week it'll change, and he'll try to – because he just wants to get in and play with anybody. So now it's Lamar Jackson. If you're in Baltimore, do you really want that guy on that team? Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal young man. I may not believe that he'll ever be a great passer, but he's a phenomenal young man. I wouldn't want, and you've got a couple of young receivers there on that team, I wouldn't want Antonio Brown with that crew. That's not the influence I want around those guys, even though I think Lamar Jackson is mentally tough enough because he's I think he's a great person at heart. You know what I mean? Like Lamar, you're not going to change who he is. Like you can put Antonio Brown around Russell Wilson and Tim Tebow and those kind of cats, and they would never change. I mean, Tim Tebow was on a team in Florida that had all kinds of jailbirds, and it didn't do anything to him. He was still the best human being on the planet, right? And so those kind of people never change. Lamar's that kind of guy. He's like the Tebows and the Russell Wilsons of the world, that they're just awesome, how they are just great at handling everything. Pretty much, they're just good human beings. So Antonio won't affect him, but he could affect others, and he could disrupt, which is the most that you've got to worry about if you're Baltimore. And with the success you had last year, you need all those guys to grow together, not bring in an ingredient that really does not mesh with what's going on right now. You know, John Harbaugh doesn't need that headache either. I'm sure he doesn't want that kind of headache. So there you go. So that's the latest with AB. Now he's throwing that out there. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. And don't forget to visit my friends at VSS West Pines. Listen, you guys are stuck at home. You're in quarantine. You got pressure. You got stress. You need to relieve that stress. Maybe you're having a little trouble sleeping too. Go visit the folks at VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. You can also go to their website, vsswestpines.com. They've got all the CBD products out there to help you with the stress, to help you with the anxiety, help you sleep. And all you got to do is call them, 954-613-3367. If you don't want to get off and go inside to buy your CBD products, you can actually buy it, call by phone, purchase it, credit card, and then drive up and tell them you're outside the door, and guess what? They'll bring it out to you. Even walk up, outside service, baby. So you can do that at VSS West Pines. Again, 12397 Pembroke Road, whether it's flour, tinctures, edibles, CBD topicals, Salve for pain, transdermal patches. They've got it all for you out there. The e-juice, anything that you need, the disposable vape pens, they've got them there, single, 3-packs. I've told you already, it's kind of like a Spencer/Barefoot Mailman, but it's also got all the CBD products that you're looking for. Go visit Jose and all the great people at VSSWestPines.com, 12397 Pembroke Road. Call them, 954-613-3367.
Little play fake.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We're back.
This is the Big O Show.
Ray Alvarez is asking me about quarterbacks at 5, and I said no, and then he said what I would do later on. Ray, my suggestion is, my brother, because maybe you might be new to all of this, remember you can subscribe to all these shows, are all podcasted and broken down into segments, hours, rants, interviews, all of that. And so you can get segments that you'll see me talk about the quarterbacks in the draft just recently. Just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, several of those segments talking about what I would do for the Dolphins at number 5, and later on what I would do and all that. It's all there. So subscribe to our podcasts on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, all that stuff, and search for Big O Radio Show, like on YouTube or on the audio, and you can get all of those old segments are there. Okay, and what I mean old is a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 2 months ago. You'll hear all of that stuff.
7 months
It's
ago.
all there. Since we're not really a radio show where we have to constantly repeat things, everything is there. Everything is all podcasted. Everything is all separated and all that. So if it's just a Heat segment, you'll hear it. If it's a Marlins segment, a Dolphins, NFL draft, whatever, all those segments are there, and you can check it out, and I'd appreciate it immensely. So can't really go into, repeating all this stuff that I've already said. It's all there for you, Ray. So I appreciate you, my man, for watching. Appreciate you keeping it locked here. Now, Lamar Jackson is suing Amazon. Interesting stuff. Amazon is selling clothes that are ripoffs and nicknames and stuff of his persona. So the NFL MVP is now suing them, and according to a new lawsuit, Amazon is selling T-shirts and hoodies that claim the company shouldn't be allowed to sell. The Ravens QB has seen LaMarvelous shirts, Action Jackson tees, and Not Bad for a Running Back hoodies, among other items. They're all pirate his brand and use his name, likeness, and image and persona for commercial gain without permission. And, of course, throughout the electric 2019 season in Baltimore, Jackson embraced those nicknames and phrases and even sold clothes of his own with those monikers on them. But Jackson says the alleged knockoff items are killing his ability to make profits off the nickname and images, claiming in the suit that Amazon is confusing the public into thinking he's somehow involved with the knockoffs. So Lamar says the sale of the knockoff items on Amazon have caused him irreparable harm, and now he wants the company to pay up for hurting the value of his personal brand. Jackson is asking for damages. He also wants Amazon to stop selling the shirts and clothes for good. I don't know all the legal ramifications behind all of this. I don't know if he has, like Action Jackson, like he's not the first Jackson that we said Action Jackson. Because that's kind of like anybody that's been a Jackson in some kind of thrilling way.
That's actually Carl Weathers.
Yeah, I mean, we've done all kinds of things with that Action Jackson. But I listen, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so I have no idea whether he has anything to stand on or not in this claim. That I cannot answer that, unfortunately. So, what can I tell you? 786-322-1105. But, hey, listen, if somebody's making money off of you and you feel like it's hurting you, which if he has a leg to stand on this, and it is legitimate that they're illegally selling it, then, man, more power to you. More power to you. He's a good kid, man. He deserves it. Again, I may not believe that he'll be a great quarterback, but he's a great human being, man, and I root for him. No doubt about that.
I mean, Amazon only made $12 billion net profit last year.
Well, wait a minute. Now, don't blame Amazon on that.
And zero
it might be a company.
in taxes.
It might be a company that has their shop on Amazon, and they can't track every item off the shop.
That's true. They do. Yep.
So,
right.
they have so many products on there, so it's something that maybe they can bring to their attention. And then, right now, this is the kind of time where I'm sure Amazon's focused. Like when you order a CD and things like that, Amazon's already told us, those of us that are Prime members, you know what I'm talking about. But they're going through a moment now because of all the things that people are needing right now, from hand sanitizer to masks to food and supplies and things like that are corona, related. Those are the things that are taking priority on shipping. But if you order a CD or you order a pen or whatever, anything that's not considered a necessity right now, that 2-day Prime thing is not working right now. Like, it'll be delayed a little bit. It may not be 2 days. It might be 5 or 7 that you get it. You'll get it, but you won't get it as fast as you normally would with Amazon because they said it that, they're going to be putting other things as priorities, and then the lesser items, like if you ordered a pair of sneakers, you're not going to get it in 2 days. It might be 4, it might be 6, it might be 2 weeks. But expect delays with Amazon. So I would imagine Amazon being bombarded with all this stuff. I don't know how much time they have to go check and, check out everything that Action Jackson is being sold on Amazon. Anyway. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Ray says, I will. You don't remember me from Arbondale. Ray Alvarez. Bro, Ray Alvarez that's a very common name, my brother. I have to see you, and then maybe I might remember Arbondale. Bro, I'm 53 years old. You are talking about the early to mid-70s. That's a long time ago. I got to see faces, man. I don't remember. I don't remember people in high school anymore.
Wait a second, man. We were hanging out over there in the mid-'80s. That was the Grove, remember?
Yeah, but
we'd go out and come back from the club and go at 3 in the morning and play basketball.
But I don't remember the kids that I went to school with
okay, gotcha.
2nd and 4th grade at Arbondale. I don't.
Remember, we messed up our expensive shoes and slacks, and that's when we were like, you know what, we got to have a change of clothes when we come at 3 or 4 in the morning and play basketball.
Yeah, we used to go clubbing, and then we'd end up at Arbondale playing basketball in the middle of the night. Man of 1,005 holds goes, Big O, the more I hear you and the chat, I'm becoming more willing to choose a D lineman at 5 than Tua. Well, I mean, it all, look, in the end, what's going to scare you from Tua eventually, if it does, is the injuries. That's all. That's it. We can't pick on the kid because he's phenomenal. We can't pick on his throwing because it's phenomenal. He's accurate as hell. The only thing we can pick on is that he's not durable. And that's the part that's scary. That, yeah, I know we need a quarterback, but, dude, if he can't stay healthy, what the hell's the use of it? And that's my problem with Tua. As much as I love him as a passer, Game Over 94 goes, Ray, even check the YouTube videos. It's nice. They post the whole show and also clips of individual topics. Thank you. Thank you, Game Over 954. Let's see. If Lamar wins MVP again, who gets a bigger deal, Mahomes or Jackson? Mahomes, because he's the real quarterback. The MVP, to me, doesn't mean anything. What is it? What's more important, winning the MVP or leading your team to the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? And when the running game breaks down, Pat Mahomes can beat you. When Lamar Jackson's running game breaks down, he can't beat you. Okay? Let's not compare apples and oranges. Let's not compare a real passer and an athlete with the ball in his hands. Because that's what Lamar is. He's an athlete with the ball in his hands. Tua seems like another Manziel in his size and durability. I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to insult Tua that way. Manziel is such a knucklehead, and I know you weren't even talking about that. But and Manziel never really had the injuries that Tua's had. Tua's had some serious injuries, man. That's not really Manziel's problem. Manziel's bigger problem was that he was a moron. That's all. He was never committed. Just a rich boy that got his way. That's what he is. Nothing more. Hey, during this whole thing with the coronavirus, and we talked about yesterday free agency going on, and now the NFL owners are moving forward with the draft for next month, which I already told you yesterday that I'm super glad about that, because and the owners know that it's a gold mine. But we talked about this, that there's a lot of these deals that are going to get reversed because they haven't been able to do the physical. And when they do, they may run into things. And remember we told you yesterday about Michael Brockers, that deal now is up in the air because he has an injury that he has not recovered from and did not pass his physical. Well, The Athletic now reports the Ravens will not be completing their deal with the defensive tackle Michael Brockers. So there were conditions. There was a condition with his ankle, so they were able to view the results of the physical, and so now they have released him from his 3-year, $31 million deal. So this was going to happen. Now, the interesting part is Brockers, after getting released, was able to then get to a contract with the Rams. The Rams ended up signing him right after, and he had a 3-year, $30 million deal with Baltimore. With Los Angeles, he now signs a 3-year, $31.5 million deal. Okay? Scott Casterline told Ian Rappaport of NFL Media that his client is now returning to the Rams on a 3-year deal of $31.5 million. And reports surfaced last week that the deal was in jeopardy because of concerns he had with his ankle. So Friday morning brought the word that the deal was off, and the Ravens confirmed it a short time later. Brockers has spent his entire 8-year career with the Rams and has been a fixture in the starting lineup since he joined the team. So now he goes back to the team that got him. Now Ravens, by the way, lose a guy because they need now a defensive tackle at this point. Brockers is a pretty damn good player, man. That was going to be a nice pickup for the Ravens to build that defensive line. And so the Rams, I guess in a way, get lucky because they know the player, and he suffered the injury last year, and he's still recovering from it. I thought that was kind of odd. I do think that's kind of weird. But this is not the only deal that's going to get reversed. And so there'll be others. You know, looks like the Dolphins haven't had any problems with any of theirs. Now, I don't know how many of these deals are completely finalized. I think most of them are already. So I think they're kind of in the clear with all of this. But, man, that's kind of tough. We're lucky right now as Dolphin fans that it looks like they're in the clear and none of these are getting reversed. But, you know, we're feeling so good about free. Can you imagine if something happened to Van Noy? Like, that would take a damper out of all of this. You know what I'm saying?
That would be a hit, man.
Jones, like, okay, we're like, okay, Howard Jones, this is gonna be fun, man. We got 2 shutdown corners here for the Dolphins, and then now Byron Jones, you know, physical comes back and it's iffy, and they've got to, you know, crush the deal. Now you lose out on that corner, and then the rest of the market's dried up at this point. That's the thing for Baltimore. They don't really have an option like Michael Brockers out there available. So whoever they sign now is going to be a much lesser player. That may also adjust what they want to do in the draft. By losing Brockers, they may have to find a defensive tackle, maybe even reach for one a little earlier than they wanted to. That's so, Dolphin fans, good stuff for us, man. Looks like none of these deals have been reversed because I really love – I can't tell you enough how much I love so far what the Dolphins have. I mean, I love what the Dolphins have done for the last year. I've been a big proponent of what they've done and what direction they're headed in. I think it's freaking amazing. So, you know, but I'm just glad that this stuff is, man, it's all right. We're in a good spot.
Actually, formally hearing of people going to the doctor and getting checked out physical. Obviously, Brockers because of the ankle situation. Cam Newton, remember Atlanta? That right. Hey, he's healthy, he could play. And Brady. Those are. Have we heard of any other players that have formally passed the physical or seen a doctor?
No. No. Well, no. I mean, DeMarcus Denard was the other one.
Okay.
That was reversed also.
All right.
So, there's only been 2.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just glad that our Dolphins haven't had any issues with theirs. And that, you know, it's – put it this way. I'm in a happy place with the Dolphins for the last year. I just want to stay there. You know what I mean? I just want to stay there. Okay. Every now and again, there's one athlete that raises up against all odds or against him, and in this kid, it's very easy to see. They're talking about Tua. Okay, that's on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. I mean, that if you think Tua's going to rise above the injuries, then you take him. I just don't think so. I think this is what he is. Hey, I'm sure you know what impact you have on your listeners, but definitely some more than others. Listening to your podcast each and every day is something I look forward to each and every day. I tune in not only for your brutal honesty, but your advice and your wise words. Believe it or not, your voice reaches some of us in so many ways you can't imagine. You're a treasure to us all. Thank you. Sincerely from your buddy G-Bro. I can't for all this C-19 crap. Can't wait to be over and done with. Can't wait to meet you, my friend. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Very, very, very kind. And I don't know if I make that kind of an impact, but I look forward to meeting you too also, man. No doubt about that. Look forward to meeting all of you out there. I was looking forward to meeting a lot of you in Vegas. Big time. Now, listen. This year, we might be doing some stuff for the Dolphin games. So, we might be working on some stuff. Stephen Pensacola is telling me that Justin Gatlin's a Pensacola boy. Did not know that. Nice nugget. That is very cool. That's a conversation we were having yesterday on the program. Let me see, what else do we have here? P.S. The tool is free. Wait a minute, what do we have here? The tool is free, super easy. It's basically get rid of all the spam and helps you have something that defends in your live chat, mini live strings. Oh, okay, this is... Oh, Dougie Fresh, I think I have a solution for your problem on YouTube Live. Watch the short video that I sent you that will help you block people during your show. However, if this is someone who is using a bot and they're real a-holes, it could continue. It does. If it does, have no fear. There is a free tool that you can use if this continues. Wow, Dougie, you're the best, dude. You're always looking after the show. So far, the skanks aren't there today. They showed up yesterday. I think I blocked them. I'm not sure, okay, because I'm not Mr. Savvy here. I'm pretty good with this stuff, but I'm not great. I think I did.
They're planning their next plan of attack there, buddy.
Yeah. The Globetrotters' best show was when they were on Scooby-Doo. I like that. My dad was killed by a drunk driver. To say it was a mistake is insulting. Exactly. You are correct, sir. It's a crime. It's not insulting. Dolphin MA here. Great show, my first round. Stay where you are at 5. Simmons or Becton. At 18, Josh Jones. At 18, Love. At 26, Josh Jones or Jackson from USC. Thanks, Big O. All right. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for listening and watching and supporting and downloading and spreading the word, all of that. Weird experience at the Bunny Ranch in Nevada yesterday. The lovely lady that bedded me insisted on wearing her mask during the process. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, she was doing you a favor, bro. She was at least wearing her mask. Did you wear your mask is the question.
Yeah, did you make him look like a bank robber?
And did you have gloves all over your body? Not just your hands, if you know what I mean. Okay?
Well, you remember we used to say, make him look like a bank robber. Put that mask on.
Yeah. Okay? Make sure you wear your one-fingered glove. All right? 786-322-1105. The accidentlawfirm.com text line blowing up. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, there's a lot of people out there with gross fingernails. Tell them to clip those fingers before they go into public because germs store under those things. What they don't tell you is that the germs get through the creases in the screw holes. Masks are a marketing gimmick. The only prevention is to stay away from people that are pigs. If Ravens need an NT, trade Godchild to them for a 1 and a 5. Holy crap. Do you think they're going to give up a 1 and a 5 for Godchild? Hey, I'm still going to wear my mask when I have to because it's better for me to wear a mask. I'm safer. Man, more of them coming in. One guy goes 5. Oh, okay, because one guy goes to me, hey, don't be a guy saying Carr is better than QB than Tannehill. He made Amari Cooper invisible in Oakland while Tannehill had a 4.75 40-yard guy in Landry who got paid. Yeah, he got paid with 5-yard passes. Yeah, I don't know. Tannehill's great with those slants. Please, come on, man. Let's see. Big O would trade up for Burrow or draft Herbert. I think I've said neither. Neither one I would do. Okay. I never get when you guys send me stuff that has like little diamonds with a question mark, =, M. That's weird. I would show you. Oh, wait, I could do that like this. That way I don't show the phone numbers. You see that? That thing there? That's weird. I get that from some of you. Like the person that just sent a message right now, I got that. And the one that sent weird experience, you have it where I can't send you back a message. Some of you have your phone number doesn't allow to receive a text back. So I can't communicate with you. Some of you, if you never get a message back from me, it might be because you're kind of locked out on the text messages and you don't allow to receive, which is really odd. You know what I mean? That's kind of supposed to be a give and take. And we kind of talk about, all kinds of different things. All right. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter at Big O Show. Andy Benoit is going to join us on the other side. We're going to talk a little draft with Andy. Let's ask him about what the Dolphins should do at 5, what he thinks about Tua, Love, all the other stuff going on in the NFL draft. Andy Benoit does an excellent job covering the NFL draft, NFL Insider, SI, all kinds of good stuff. We'll talk to Andy when we come back, and we're coming to you live, of course, from Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. Don't forget Pallet Rack City, Eddie Pineda, and all the great people at Pallet Rack City, great sponsors of our program, 305-887-9212. You're trying to straighten out that warehouse. They are your one-stop shop for all your warehouse needs. They sell used forklifts and dock equipment. They've got the largest used racking inventory in South Florida. We all want a great rack. A great rack is awesome. It makes your warehouse look so good. It organizes everything. You don't want boxes stacked on top of boxes. That's not going to help you. Get the racks you need. They also sell pallet jacks, hand trucks, dock boards, and most packaging supplies. Call Eddie Pineda right now at Pallet Rack City, 305-887-9212 for Pallet Rack City.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty. We promised you Andy Benoit is going to join us, and of course you can follow him on Twitter like I and so many others do at Andy_Benoit. Excellent NFL insider, knows his draft inside and out, so we're going to have a little fun with him now. And Andy, the good thing about being quarantined is you kind of normally are quarantined anyways, right? You're always locked up somewhere watching film anyway.
That's correct. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually watching a Dolphins play from last year just by coincidence. So I'm hopefully I'm fresh and loose to have a conversation here.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad you are Dolphins in tune. And just out of curiosity, Andy, because I've been ripping the Dolphins for 20 years. So people now are freaking out that over the last calendar year, I have been like the most positive dude on the planet because I've loved the way they've approached everything. I think they've really approached it with a football sense on how to really rebuild this entire thing. So you tell me, since Chris Grier took over last year and added McKenzie and added Marvin Allen and cleared out the cap and got rid of all the salaries and loaded up all the draft picks and now free agency and going 5-4 at the end of the year and beating the Patriots in a game that they needed, everything that you've seen in the last year, how do you grade what Chris Grier has done?
Well, I mean, it's if we're talking about a guy setting a plan, and we can debate whether we like the plan or not, but look, he's got his plan. You have to have one. That's his. As far as adhering to the plan, I mean, I think you give him an A, maybe even an A+, because it's what you just outlined. I never once thought they were tanking per se. We used to call what they did rebuilding. Now this word tanking's come along, and it's kind of a hot button word. But the point was they went all in on the plan that they had, and they got better over the course of the season after executing that plan. I thought Brian Flores, and nobody would ever do this, and it's probably an exaggeration, but it's worth saying because he took so much crap from people about their approach last year. I mean, he deserved Coach of the Year consideration for the way they finished and how competitive they were in the second half of that season playing with what they had. And now they've gone out and they've rebuilt, and I like what they're doing this offseason. They'll probably need one more year of this kind of approach to really get to where they want to be, but I think they're on a tremendous path.
All right, I like it. All right, so at number 5, you start looking at all these, you're doing your own mock, you're looking at what you think these GMs are going to do. What's the realistic pick in Andy Benoit's eyes at number 5 for the Miami Dolphins?
Well, and I'm not a draft guy in the sense that I haven't studied these prospects yet. So let's talk the team need and then the concept and see if what player kind of emerges there. What's really interesting to me about Miami is that they follow the Patriots model, obviously, as far as how they build their defense, which is we're going to take size and fundamentally sound, smart players, and we're going to trust that our scheme can get the pass rush taken care of as long as we play man coverage really well on the back end. So that's why they paid Byron Jones all that money, opposite of Xavier Howard, 2 high-level cornerbacks. We think we can manufacture a pass rush so we don't have to pay for these really expensive edge pass rushers that other teams have to go pay for. So that's the thought process. Now, what's also true is when you watch their film last year, there were cases in the second half of the season, even when they were winning games, where their pass rush was absolutely non-existent, where it's like, I get that you don't have talent in the pass rush, you don't invest the same way, but you can't have zero there. And there were times that they got caught having zero, and that really hurt them. So they've signed Kyle Van Noy, and he's a better pass rusher than people realize, but he's not going to be mistaken for Von Miller anytime soon. So my answer, Big O, is that I think they need a pass rusher, but I would certainly understand their answer very well may be that's not something we prioritize until the middle rounds, or we'll sign a mid-level veteran. We don't want to do that. But I think a pass rusher would do a lot for them in their third down packages.
Yeah, well, Brown could be a guy from the defensive tackle position at number 5 that they could use to get their pass rush to help it out. So let me ask you something. Where do you stand with all the Tua talk at 5? They need a quarterback at 5. Pass rusher may not be the number 1 need at that point right there because you might be reaching in this draft. So it's quarterback, offensive line, maybe they don't need a corner either because obviously they just signed Jones and they've got Howard, so you're not going to go corner at 5. So where do you stand right now, Andy, in the Tua talk and the health and all of that?
Well, yeah, so in this case, it becomes strictly a function of how do you feel about Tua, because let's say he's the only guy on the board at the time that they pick, which very well could be the case. And I have not studied him, so I would not give my opinion much credence. People I know who and respect within the league who have studied him, I've heard some concerns in that he's undersized. He's really not a great athlete. He's a good athlete by college standards, but he's not going to be anything special athletically in the NFL. And there's the hip injury, I think, is a little bit of a concern. But I think Tua is one of those guys who's very much in the eye of the beholder. And that's what's going to make this so interesting to see. And he'll be fine. All it takes is one team to believe in him, and he'll find that early in the draft. But I wouldn't be shocked, and I don't know where Miami stands. I wouldn't be shocked if there are some teams that don't see him as anything close to a first-round or high first-round caliber talent.
Andy, you study the film. You watch all these guys in the league. Besides Van Noy, they added Shaq Lawson, and they added Emmanuel Ogbah. Talk to me a little bit about how much better is that Miami pass rush with those 3 rotational guys added to this list?
Well, those guys are better than some of the guys they had on the field in their 5-man pass rush last year. And it's usually a 5-man pass rush, or at least that's how they present the pass rush initially. So some of those guys, there are upgrades. None of those guys are difference makers in and of themselves. Lawson really is not much of an explosive bender at all. He had some decent numbers in Buffalo last year, and I hate to say this because it sounds flimsy, but he had a lot of plays really just fall into his lap. It was unbelievable how many times he happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I'm sure that's part of the reason Buffalo didn't appear to make a whole lot of effort to retain him, is he wasn't quite as dynamic as his stats suggest. Ogbah's a little bit interesting. He hasn't been on the field as much the last few years for different reasons, but at his best, I think he can be a quality interior pass rusher. He's not an edge bender either. But what's interesting about how they rush the passer there is a lot of times they don't have guys start out of a 3-point stance and get gap penetration necessarily. It's a lot of times guys are standing up. It's about how you approach a blocker so they can set up stunts and twists. So, Ogba, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in on some of the pass rushes because they tend to go with linebackers and more versatile players for that. But we'll see. And I'm sure they probably don't even quite fully know yet either. They just know they need more talent up there, and they'll figure out where to play them on third downs once they get closer to the season.
And in their scheme, what did you see from Wilkins as the season went on? Because it seemed like, Andy, he got better as the year went on and kind of finished really strong. Your thoughts on Wilkins, their first-round pick last year?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think you can certainly see why he was taken in the first round. He is huge, and he looks athletic he looks like an athletic, big, fat guy, which is the best thing you can be as a defensive lineman, especially I see him more as an interior defensive lineman in their scheme. So I would be encouraged if I were Miami about where he is with things. And what you really like is his ability to move laterally down the line of scrimmage. So there were a lot of times last year where the teams ran outside zone or stretch zone plays, which is what most teams are running now. It's what most of the best rushing attacks are comprised of. And there were times that Wilkins could work laterally down the line of scrimmage and tackle backs for a 1-yard gain from behind. That's very difficult to do at his size and the way and some of the blocks you see with where he lines up. So I was impressed. He can be more consistent, certainly, and that was an issue early in the season at times, but I was impressed with the way he developed over his first season.
Did you like any of the other defensive linemen that you think that they can build on from last year, whether it's Taco? I'm not even going to ask you about Charles Harris, but any of the other guys that they have on this team?
Well, not the way I liked Wilkins, obviously. I liked Godchow a few years ago. I didn't think he was as effective, or certainly he didn't stand out the same way this past season. One guy I know, there was a point a few weeks ago, I was rewatching some of those Dolphin defensive games, and one guy jumped off the screen. I could not recognize the number. Who is that? And I paused and looked it up, and it was Taco Charlton, which made sense. You saw a burst of the first-round talent there. Now, that was an isolated incident, though. That's part of the reason he's in Miami and not Dallas. He's not an every-down force at all at this point. But, he's probably, the guys we're talking about, he probably has the most raw talent of anyone coming back from last year's team.
Well, Zach Seiler, too, man. He had a game in Week 16 that we're like, who the hell is this guy? And then against the Patriots, they barely played him. So it was one of those Patriot-like things that they did, that they were featuring one guy one week, and then the next week in the game plan, you barely even played. I don't know if you know anything about this guy. They picked him up from Baltimore. Do you know anything about this guy? Because he had a monster week 16. He had just been picked up a couple weeks before, and then they put him on ice. And that's one of those guys that I'm like intrigued with. Whenever training camp starts, I want to see if there was anything there.
Yeah, no, I don't have a lot on him either. But what you described is obviously a very Patriot type of approach, and I've seen that with Patriot players over the years. Highly game plan specific, and a lot of it just comes down to matchups and how they feel he'll play against a certain guy.
Linebackers, Vince Beagle, I thought became one hell of a pickup for them last year. Let's go through the linebackers. Beagle, Raekwon McMillan, Jerome Baker. What did you see? What did you like? What you didn't like?
Well, so to me, Beagle and those other two are very different players, because Beagle is up on the line of scrimmage so much, and I understand he's listed as a linebacker on paper, and I get that, but for all intents and purposes, he lines up and plays where most defensive ends do. He just looks different doing it because they have him stand up instead of get down in the stance. But the other two linebackers, they were better than I thought they'd be in the scheme. Neither one of them has the type of size that you normally associate with a Patriot defense. Or if you look at the Detroit Lions, they just signed Reggie Ragland today. Ragland's a 250-something pound linebacker. That's how they play in Detroit under Matt Patricia. It's these big thumping defensive front players. That's not what the Dolphins linebackers are. But I thought they played decently within the context of the scheme, given that they're not ideal fits for the scheme. And how a linebacker can perform in coverage, I think, is a big deal in today's NFL. And I'm still getting a feel for how those guys are in coverage. I think Baker's probably the better of the two in coverage. I wouldn't be surprised if they're keeping an eye on linebackers, and they might even draft one just to. It can't be completely comfortable for that staff to know that they don't have the type of linebackers that they usually have, even though those are decent players they have.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And Andy Benoit, by the way, joining us here. You can follow him on Twitter at Andy_Benoit. And you were just talking about Detroit. And the reason they made that move is because they got rid of Jarrad Davis. What happened with Davis, dude? Why did he fail in Detroit? Because he's got a lot of talent, and a lot of people in the NFL liked him as a player, as a leader. What happened with Davis there?
You know, I'll be completely honest with you. That's the first I've heard that they got rid of Davis. When did they do that?
I thought that's what I thought. I just read that he was going to be a free agent. That they're gonna unload him. That's what I thought I read, if I was correct.
Yeah,
or they're going to trade him. That's what it was. That's what I read. That he's on the trade market. That they're shopping him.
I got you.
So that's why I was going to ask you. Why is he falling out of favor in Detroit? Was he not good in Detroit? Because I can't say that I followed everything he does, but I did like him coming out of school.
Yeah, and I have loved him at times. So what we said about Taco Charlton, hey, who's that guy, jumps off the screen, that's Jarrad Davis 10 to 12 times a game, which is why I was flummoxed when you said, he might not be there anymore. Now, his issue, at his best snaps are as good as any linebacker's snaps in the NFL. He can be unbelievably explosive. And I thought last season he came along as a blitzer in their scheme very well. That became a big part of what they were doing midway through the season. Where his issues show up, he's never been completely comfortable in coverage from a mental standpoint. Okay. I think he thinks the game a little too much there. Now, that was more of an issue early in his career than late, because anymore in Detroit they play so much man-to-man. That's not very mentally draining necessarily. Hey, you got that guy, go follow him. But the way they play man coverage with their linebackers at times, it's often based on the formation and the way some of those guys release. Who goes here, who goes there, you got them based on that. So, I don't know if the coaches maybe weren't as comfortable with him as what he can do in coverage. He ought to be on the field every snap because he's their best moving player by far. So the fact that he's not on the field at times in coverage situations suggests there's something there that the coaching staff doesn't feel good about with him, probably from the standpoint of picking up assignments.
Yeah, and you know what? Patriots aren't very keen on their linebackers only being two down guys. So I could see where Patricia has got that same kind of thinking. So if Jared's turning into a two-down guy, you're not going to last long there. So that's probably what's happening. All right, let's move back over to the Dolphins. They picked up a guy in Eric Flowers who played at the University of Miami, and as you know, Andy, was a major bust at tackle. But the Redskins picked him up last year, put him at left guard, and he thrived. So, was it real? Was it Memorex? Was it like Lawson that just things went his way? How do you view the Eric Flowers addition for the Miami Dolphins?
Well, there's no doubt he's better at guard than tackle. I think anybody can see that, and it was evident last season, and he did play well. He wasn't flawless by any stretch, but he didn't stand out negatively either. I thought he had a nice year in Washington. I was surprised that Miami invested what they did in him, but I also understand it from Miami's standpoint because there were times last year they had a very limited offensive line in some of those games, and it really impacted some of their play calling and how they were able to even go about trying to play. And when you get to that level where it's one thing to have weaknesses and you have to work around them, it's another to have weaknesses and you feel like you can't work with them. You got to really work around them. We can't do this. We can't do that. So I understand why they would make a big investment in the O-line because they don't want to have to deal with that again. So we'll see what happens with Flowers. There's more pressure on him now than there was a year ago.
So you're like me. I gave them an A- in free agency because I loved all their moves. The only one that I kind of question is the Eric Flowers one because I just need to see another year of him playing well. I can't believe you after just 1 year because I have a saying that I've said for many, many years on my show. Any pro player in any sport can have a good week, a good month, and a good year. because sometimes things go their way. Like Derek Anderson one year was terrific for the Browns, and then they gave him a contract, and he could never do it again. So it's just one of those deals that I need to see it again before I believe that he's actually turned the corner. So you're kind of like I am with Eric Flowers.
Yeah, I would say that's very fair. And keep in mind, and I'm sure the Dolphins feel great about their coaching staff. I'm sure they do. Flowers worked for an exceptionally highly regarded O-line coach last year with Bill Callahan, too.
Yeah, that's right. One of the best. Yeah, you're right. Gesicki, should we be excited about the progress that we saw on the field last year?
I thought some of his better moments came in the second half of last season. What he does really well, he reminds me a lot as I think about it. I think he can be a much better version of this guy. But Kobe Fleener for the Colts a few years ago, these high-cut, long-bodied tight ends that they're probably a little bit clunky when you have to get certain change of direction demands on them, but they're very good down the seams. And I do not mean to suggest that Gesicki's any kind of clunky. He's a good athlete. He's just one of those high-cut bodied guys, though. So how do we use him best? Working vertically down the seams is going to be where he separates himself from good to great. And I thought he made some very nice plays down there last year.
That's one guy that we're kind of excited about. Now let me ask you, Jesse Davis. This is what we're thinking of. They're going to go, I think, heavy on the offensive line in this draft. They're going to pick at least 2 or 3 guys. I could see them actually doing that, with the 14th pick, at least 2 or 3 guys throughout that draft. And maybe at number 5, there's a lot of tackles that are going to go early in this draft. Maybe they go tackle at number 5. Okay, so you do that. You got the Julian Davenport kid that maybe you can teach him to be a swing tackle. Do they keep Jesse Davis at right tackle, or should he be a backup swing guy? How do you view Jesse Davis?
I think in a perfect world, he's your backup swing guy because he's played guard and tackle in his career, and I bet he can do it if you trained him such. I bet he could do it at least 3 of the 4 spots: left guard, and right tackle, maybe even left tackle if you need him in a pinch. So that's the ideal way to use Davis. I did go through my film notes a few days ago and look up Jesse Davis to see how he'd done over the course of the year, and his name did not show up a whole lot in my film notes. And for offensive linemen, that can be a good thing. You tend to notice when those guys get beat more than you notice when they just soundly do their job. So I think Davis came along. He's certainly better than he was a few years ago. But for most teams, he would be a swing tackle based on the offensive lineman most teams have right now.
Okay. All right. When you were looking at the film, anything I haven't asked you that stood out to you that you liked, or something that scared the crap out of you with the Dolphins?
I think Eric Rowe is an important player for them this year moving forward, or somebody in that role, that hybrid coverage safety type of role, kind of the Patrick Chung job that he does in New England. Having stability there is important. And then the last thing that really stood out is I think Nick Needham has a chance to be a really good slot corner in the NFL. And he did not play there a whole lot last year. He mostly played outside. There were times he traveled with the number 1 receiver for certain parts of the game outside. And I thought he was absolutely exceptional, especially for being such a low pedigree corner. That's a hard position for a guy to be an undrafted or a low round pick and all of a sudden explode and play well, because this position is so athletically demanding that it tends to be the higher drafted guys that do wind up playing well. Needham was fantastic at times, and I think his body type is really suited for playing the slot. And now that Byron Jones is there and Xavier Howard's there, there's going to be opportunities to put them inside if they want.
All right, so let me go off of that. Bobby McCain, I've been thinking about maybe they also go after a safety and they take Bobby McCain and put him back at slot. What do you think about how Bobby played at safety? Should he stay at safety because he really doesn't have the body to play safety? Or would you move him back to the slot? Or was Needham just as good, better, or slightly worse than Bobby McCain at slot? Talk to me about that.
Well, I don't think we've seen enough of Needham in the slot to say where he ranks right now relative to McCain. I think if I were going into camp, though, and I'm developing the roster, Needham's by far the guy I want to try out in the slot first. McCain, though, what he can give you, the Niners have this in Ward at corner/safety. That's why they just re-signed Ward. is he can be a free safety who drops down and covers the slot at times based on the situation or the offensive look. And the value of that is you don't know if that guy is a corner or a safety necessarily. And it doesn't necessarily matter, you think, except that whether he's a corner or safety usually tells you the quarterback before the snap if it's man or zone coverage. So when you get these undefined guys, and Eric Rowe can kind of be one of those as well, these blurry, vague defensive players that can cover, you can really do a lot with your coverage disguises. And as much as we're talking about Miami and they want to be the Patriots, and they do, stylistically they did a lot with their coverage disguises last year too. They were very creative in some of their cover 2 zone stuff in the second half of the season. So I think McCain, I would put him at safety with the understanding that we can move him to the slot at times, and it's going to really make a blurry look for that defense or that offense.
I like that. All right, Andy Benoit, by the way, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Andy_Benoit. Ted Karras was signed as a center. Are we looking at him like a stopgap guy that will eventually become the center guard swing guy? Or do you think this guy might be ready to be a full-time center from here on out? Because it's only a 1-year, $4 million deal, so they weren't willing to commit to him on a long-term basis. How do you look at Ted?
I think I looked at it in the way that I'm Chris Greer, I'm Brian Flores. We said, hey, we had some problems in that interior O-line last year. We want to draft a guy, but we have other things we might want to draft. It's going to be a mid-round pick if we do take one. So we do need an insurance policy for this season because we got to go out and play with somebody decent. That's an important position. So let's get Ted Karras. We know what we're getting. It's nothing special, but we can at least feel okay if he's on the field, and we'll continue our search for a long-term center.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Anybody else from that free agent class that they just picked up that really stands out to you at all?
Not off the top of my head. You'd have to jog my memory if there's another name we haven't touched on.
No, not really. I mean, Fejedelem or whatever from the special teamer, the safety, and Camus Grieger-Hill, another special teams guy. Those guys, and we really didn't get into Jordan Howard, which again I think for power running and short yardage and those kind of things, I think Miami is going to look for a dynamic back in the draft, a guy that can run and catch, and then Jordan Howard will be that complementary guy, and they'll use him in short yardage situations to not burn out the other guy. That's kind of the way I view Jordan Howard. You view it the same way, right?
Yeah, and I think they need to do it that way because really when you look at all of their skill players, they don't have a single guy on the roster except for maybe Albert Wilson. They don't have a guy that can create his own space with the ball in his hands or even create his own space as a route runner. They got bigger bodied receivers, Williams, Parker, obviously, Gesicki. Howard's a bigger body. I don't want to call him a plotter. That's a little disrespectful, but he's a more physical runner than he is an agile runner. There's nobody that can create space in that offense right now, and that becomes an issue on third and medium especially. So I think they do need to go get a guy, and it probably makes more sense to find a running back who can catch rather than a slot receiver or something like that. So I'm with you on what they're doing with Howard in the backfield.
All right, Andy, let's wrap it up with this. You just mentioned Albert Wilson. He got better towards the end of the year because he got healthy, but he's been very injury prone. I've been one that says you need to draft a receiver. You got 14 picks. This is a very receiver-heavy draft. You're going to have quality receivers into the third round, possibly into the fourth round. You might be able to. I think you're better off drafting a guy since you're getting Preston Williams back along with the way Devontae Parker played. You've got a decent group already. Invest in a young guy. What did you see in Albert Wilson on film? What makes you feel good that they should keep him? Or you feel like me that maybe the injury history, you need to move on from that salary? How do you feel about it?
Well, what makes you feel good about him is that kind of what we're talking about. He's the guy that you would put in if we need someone to be on the move. If we're going to run a jet sweep, or we need a Z receiver who's going to motion across the formation and run crossing routes, or even an option route, or what have you. That's the guy in the roster they would look to right now. They need another one, and they might need another two if they don't think Wilson can stay healthy. And then the discussion becomes, all right, well, what's the value of that in our offense? Because these cost a certain amount of capital. Do we need that kind of a shifty receiver before we need a insert other need? Because Williams will likely, if he's healthy, I think he has a chance to really stick in the starting lineup. And obviously Parker's in the starting lineup. They paid him all that money. So you do play with 3 receivers in today's NFL, so that factors in as well. It's just a matter of what's the value or how much do we invest here then.
I'm with you there. Andy, what are you working on so folks can check you out there on your Twitter account at Andy_Benoit?
The Twitter account, I have some plays broken down on film, and then there's some stuff up at Sports Illustrated I've been writing about team needs, actually. We're kind of going over this kind of stuff, and I'm watching a lot of film for other projects right now.
There you go. So check them out at Sports Illustrated. Check them out on Twitter. Andy, as always, you are a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time during quarantine to talk a little hardcore Dolphins football. You are the man.
I appreciate you. Thanks.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Be safe. Stay corona-free, Andy, which is a beautiful thing. All of us to stay corona-free, which we know some of us are walking around with it, unfortunately. But that was good. That was good. See, that's hardcore Dolphins talk you're not going to get anywhere else. That's that's the kind of stuff. What am I going to do, right? I gotta come up with some stuff for you guys to enjoy yourselves, to feel better about the Dolphins. I can't wait for the draft. Oh, man. Can't wait for the draft. The only thing is it would have been great if it would have been in Vegas. That's what would have been, absolutely beautiful. Let's do this. Are we going to get Brian Carroll now? Is that what we're going to do? Right? Because we've got a guest at 2. All right, so we'll do our Dolphins Dolphin president now in the next segment. We'll talk to Brian Carroll. We'll have a little fun with him, as Brian is always kind enough to join us from the Las Vegas Dolphin Club. So we'll have a little fun with Brian, and I'm sure he's disappointed about the draft not going to Vegas. But that's all right, Dolphins. We're going to still get Vegas. It'll just be against the Raiders. And so that week we'll all get together in Vegas. We'll all have a blast on Friday and Saturday night. And then Sunday, we'll go over to the stadium, and we'll watch the Dolphins kick the Raiders' ass. And then we'll celebrate on the Strip after that. So we will get our trip to Vegas this year. It may not be for the draft, but the good thing is we'll get to see our draft picks on the field, along with the rest of our team, kicking the Raiders' ass. How about that? In a brand new, beautiful Raiders stadium that now we can call home. There you go. So, it's all right. Right now it's a little depressing. I get it. We're stuck at home. We're limited. We got a curfew at 10 o'clock, and please don't go out after 10. All right, don't give the cops trouble, and don't create trouble for yourself. Okay? Just go out when you have to. If you got to work somewhere, or if you got to, get some stuff you need for your family or anything like that, do the important things, and then get back to the house. Okay? And remember, tomorrow morning, catch us on Sirius Mad Dog. We'll be doing plenty of hardcore talk there from 8 to 11 in the morning tomorrow on Sirius Mad Dog. So make sure you catch us there. All right, we are at Craig's Inns, Acura, Pembroke Pines. We'll be out here for a little bit more, for at least another hour. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll continue the talk. We'll talk to Brian Carroll. I got some other things that I want to talk about. I got some music stuff. I got something I gotta settle with Bill here, because we got some stuff we got to talk about down the line. Back with more right here on the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. Coming to you live from Craig's Inns, Acura Pembroke Pines, baby. All right, we promised you, in a few weeks we were supposed to be in Vegas hanging out with Brian Carroll, hanging out with thousands of Dolphin fans, having a phenomenal week and a phenomenal weekend. Unfortunately, we're only going to have that phenomenal weekend at our homes because we're still going to have that great draft weekend because our Dolphins are going to kick some serious freaking ass in the draft. But Brian Carroll, president of the Dolphins Club in Las Vegas, is kind enough to join us now to talk a little bit. Brian, how's it out there in Vegas, my brother? How are the streets? Empty?
Oh, man, it's empty as can be. Being born and raised in Vegas, I've never seen the strip shut down like this, man. It's crazy. We took a stroll down it, and, some lights are still on, but it is mostly dark.
Wow. Yeah, it's everybody's taking a hit right now with all of this, but unfortunately we have to do it, man, so we don't spread this thing and we could try to control it down the line, which would be really, really nice. But I got to tell you something, Brian. At first I kind of felt weird that they were going to go ahead with free agency, considering the whole country is, going through hell right now, but we really needed it. Especially as sports fans, we kind of needed something to get away. And now I got to tell you, I can't wait for the draft next month, man, because we really need something to, kind of keep us busy and talk a little bit about it. So at least while we're in our homes and watching this thing, at least we'll get that next phase for our beloved Dolphins.
Yes, man. First of all, I loved our free agency. Let me tell you, man. Coach Flo is just getting it done, getting his people young. Hungry. I love it, man. I've loved our free agency. I hear you rave too. I mean, who doesn't like this? And who isn't more excited about the draft more than ever? I mean, we got 14 picks, man. I mean, I think Coach Flo's just doing it right. He makes some people want to come to Miami, which in the past has kind of been the thing. People been just coming for the paycheck.
Right, the
paycheck. I feel like,
paycheck. Yeah.
People want to come
But you know
down.
what, Brian, at the end of last year, I was saying that exactly what you're saying. I was saying that what they're doing now is people are watching, players and agents are going, well, wait a minute. They have no talent down there, a whole bunch of young guys, and they've gone 5-4 and knocked out the Patriots and made them play in the divisional round. They've got it going. That's the kind of place I want to be at. And that's what they're creating now. And see, Brian, what we're seeing now is, because we have to admit this, because I used to say it all the time, they had no idea what the hell they were doing from year in, year out. The plan would change. The people would change. We never knew what the hell the Dolphins were doing because none of it ever made sense. If you watch from what they did last year till now, everything makes sense. Everything. There's a plan that you can clearly see what the hell they're doing. While everybody was tanking, what were we talking about on this show? They're not tanking. They're building with young people. Now, everybody's figured it out. Oh, wait a minute. The Dolphins want to go young. Well, hell yeah. Did you see what they did in free agency? They went with young free agents. I mean, dude, that's the theme.
Man, it is, you're absolutely right. It's been such a good feeling that even the games that we were losing, we knew what the game plan was. Coach Flores is coming in there with his game plan, and he likes to play man coverage. He goes and gets Byron Jones, which I love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him and Xavier, if they play good this year, then that's 2 lockdown. You ain't even got to worry about that.
Yeah.
If we can get a good safety in the draft, then I think our secondary is really coming alive too.
Well, if you just heard Andy Benoit right now from SI, he's big on Nick Needham becoming the slot guy. So you get Jones, you get Howard, and Needham becomes your slot guy. He feels Needham can be, and I think we all, as Dolph fans, we're all in love with Nick Needham because that guy grew as the year went on. Man, it was a lot of fun to watch him grow.
It was, and it was especially fun to watch the whole defensive unit. I believe in Coach Flores, and I believe that his defensive plan is really coming to it, and it just showed how aggressive he was this free agency in defense. And he went got his players that will play his teams, and I love it. I think our defense is going to be really, really good and underappreciated to the NFL this year until about mid-season. Then they'll know,
Right. No, I'm with you, man. There's no doubt about it. Brian Carroll, by the way, president of the Las Vegas Dolphin Club. All right, Brian, so since we last talked to you, where are you at number 5 now? What's your thinking? Where do you want the Dolphins to go at number 5?
Man, I don't, so I'm not even going to act like I'm a GM, a scouter, but, to me, I think if we just get one more really good offensive lineman player, I think we'll be all right at number 5 with the best available offensive lineman.
All right, so why are you off the Tua bandwagon? Just out of curiosity.
I would be like, I don't know. I don't like injury prone people. You know what I'm saying? So not saying I have the faith, but I feel like at number 5, you have to be that guy. You can't waste a number 5 on someone that you're taking an experiment with. In my opinion, he's an experiment. Of course, everybody, compares him to, all the smaller quarterbacks that do succeed, but nobody ever compares him to the smaller quarterbacks that don't succeed. So I mean, yeah, he could be, but one wrong shot, he's rehabbing again. Then next year we don't have a quarterback.
Right.
You know, and okay, so now you just spent fifth year and he's not even playing for 2 years. You know, that would just be horrible. And then people are going to be calling for the GM.
Right.
Saying, oh, he made the wrong decision. He shouldn't have went and got a quarterback that was already injured and drafted an injured quarterback at number 5.
So what do you think? What do you think, Brian? What do you think of my crazy ass idea to bring in Jameis Winston? Because you're not really going to spend any money on him, any serious money. So you can't. He's not going to get a signing bonus or anything like that. That's big because he can't do it. Nobody wants him as a starter. So what would you? Should the Dolphins take a chance on him for the hell of it?
Okay.
What do you think?
And I would be totally okay with that. I mean, obviously. You know, we threw Rosen out to the Wolves last year. He didn't do nothing. You know, what if he doesn't improve? So then do we really want that as a backup? You know what I'm saying? Or if we get Jameis Winston and, you know, he really did have a lot of yards, but the interceptions. So what if we do what if Coach Floyd turns those interceptions in half and turns the same yardage? Then you're saying, okay, that's a good quarterback, right?
Right, exactly. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And just say, okay, that's a good bench. I promise you that's better than Rosen's best numbers that he's put up.
Yeah, and I'm sure.
So,
and you know what? And I'm sure they've had the conversation with Ryan Fitzpatrick and said, so tell us about Jameis, because he played with him and he's hung out with him, so he knows what he's like in the meeting rooms and all that stuff. I mean, if I'm the Dolphins, that you had nothing to lose, man. If the guy, if the guy's throwing interceptions in practice, then you cut his ass and you never play him. But what you do is you start Fitz and you tell Jameis, hey, you got to work your way up like everybody else. You prove that you deserve to play, we'll play you. And when we play you, you play smart. You stay in the lineup. The one thing that you and I know, and every Dolphin fan knows. He's not going to stay on the field if he's throwing interceptions. Flores is not going to keep him around for a bunch of weeks throwing interceptions.
No.
He does that for 1 or 2 weeks, and his ass is gone. Done. And you move on. That's it.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm all aboard on that. And I don't see, like you said, there's nothing to lose on that. That's a win-win situation. You know, you either get what if he goes and outperforms Fitzpatrick? You know what I'm saying? Then you got a good 1-2 punch. And then what about one of these younger quarterbacks that are going to go in the mid-first round? We got 3 first-rounders. You know, we could always trade up if we do like a guy, say, in the early teens, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm
okay with saying, hey, Fitz, can you be smart and run this year? I'm okay with that. Let a younger guy sit behind him or Jameis Winston sit behind him. I mean, I feel like everybody, of course, in Miami is like, you know, I'm with that, been there, watched it, you know, everybody wants a quarterback since Marino left.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's been like that.
Yep.
But if you're sitting there chasing that so hard that you're losing all the keys around it, then, I mean, sometimes we're striking out over and over and over, trying to reach for quarterbacks, trying to do this, and it just doesn't pan out.
Well, listen.
And then we're going back.
That's why, Brian, I've said that you've got all these picks now, and if you look at the landscape of the NFL in the last, 20-something years here, we've watched mediocre and bad quarterbacks go all the way to the Super Bowl at times, even win it. Okay, because Nick Foles isn't anything special. Peyton Manning was completely broken down. Trent Dilfer. Hell, last year, Ryan Tannehill was advancing by throwing 70 yards a week.
Right.
And so if Miami goes out there and builds up the O-lines and the D-lines and they dominate in those areas, you will make life easy for any quarterback out there. And at least, listen, don't reach for a quarterback. Let the quarterback fall to you. Unless you're convinced he's Andrew freaking Luck, you don't make a move for a guy, okay? You just don't. And just load up the team and dude, eventually you'll get that quarterback and you'll be able to plug him in there. But don't miss out on loading up the team with a whole bunch of really good players that can make you a great team.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. And, I'm really with that. And, I just like what they're doing so far. Like I said, I'm no GM. I don't even try to play GM. I'm usually a pretty optimistic person about what the decisions are, but I really, really do like what they're doing so far, and I really am excited for the draft, and I think they're gonna hit it out the park, and it's gonna be a good year next year.
Brian, so what do you got planned for the draft?
Definitely betting the over on with the win totals at 6. Oh man, I'm definitely betting that.
Oh yeah, definitely going over on that for sure. I'm with you there. What do you got planned for the draft in a few weeks?
Honestly, I'm just waiting it out. I work at a casino, so I'm shut down right now. So I'm really just waiting to see what we got to do, as to fight this, and we'll see. If we can have a little get together. I always like to have a get together, have some drinks, but Tommy Rockers maybe even. I think they're shut down right now too because all the gaming is shut down. So we'll have to see what they're going to allow us to do.
Yeah, it would be nice that by then they've made enough tests that we can actually purchase the 45-minute ones, and then we can have a party, invite people over, but they have to take a test and they have to pass in order to get in to be a part of the party. How about that? That would be pretty cool if you could do that.
I'm in on that. Send me 100, and we'll have a hell of a party out here in Vegas.
That's what you got to do. You have a party, but you have the COVID-19 tests, and they have to take it and wait 45 minutes. And if they pass, they walk into your party, and they can enjoy the draft party. If they fail, they get their asses back home and get the hell out of here. That's it. And say, yo, we love you, but you got COVID-19. You got the cooties, baby. Get out of here. That kind of stuff.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Well, Brian,
so I gotta ask
Brian,
we will. About Jordan Howard?
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
What do you think about the Jordan Howard signing?
Oh, I love it because I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna get another back in the draft, so he'll be the dynamic one that runs and catches, and then Jordan Howard will be the power back when it's short yardage, 3rd and 1, goal line, all those things that they struggled with last year. They're not going to. This year they got hogs up front and they got a hog carrying the football. They're not going to struggle with any of that short yardage stuff. They're going to punch you in the mouth and get the first down. That's what's going to happen.
I'm saying I really like that because, man, did our running backs do nothing. I mean, you see Kenyon Drake, he got tagged, so he's going to make some money out in Arizona. But, man, other than that, our boys didn't do nothing on the ground last year.
No, that's why they got Jordan Howard. And trust me, they're drafting another guy in that 2nd and 3rd rounds.
Oh,
you bet your life that we're going to see the Dolphins add a running back at that spot. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to add a dynamic player at that spot, and that's going to be and that'll be the 1-2 punch that we will have at running back. All these other guys, Belage and all these other guys, they're battling for a backup spot. They're not going to be touching the starting spot.
I think they're battling for a roster spot. That's the truth.
Basically, I'm with you. Hey, Brian, we're going to be partying with you anyway, bro. When when the Dolphins go out there to kick the Raiders' ass later on this year, so we'll be definitely.
I can't wait for that. Yeah, man. I hope it's week 1 so we can go and get that first W in that stadium.
No, that would be fun. That would be fun. But they're going to do some kind of back-to-back week out west. So I'm hoping that Raiders game is piggybacked with another one of those West Coast games, so we could go out there for 10, 12 days and go to 2 of those games. That'll be cool.
Hopefully, for the fans' sake, it's week 2 because the second week of the back-to-back is week 1. Man, people will be broke going to Cali. Or Arizona,
No, you're right.
We got San Francisco, Arizona, and Denver.
Yes.
And Vegas.
Yes.
So four West Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Now, as long as they put 2 of them together, that's all I want, man. String 2 of them together for me. I wouldn't mind Vegas and Denver to be the ones back to back because maybe we could get a nice little concert at Red Rocks or something like that.
Yeah, man, I would definitely. I'm in. The back-to-back, you just let me know you're in. I'm in, too.
You got it.
Let's go. I'll go to Cali or Arizona or Denver. It don't matter.
All right. Hey,
They're all not far.
Brian, you know we always have Dolph fans listening all around the world to the podcast. What do they got to do to join the Las Vegas Dolphin Club?
Man, just like my page right now on Facebook. It's Las Vegas Dolphins Fan Club. It's pretty simple. I made it pretty easy. And just, hit me up. Anybody ever comes in town, I'll come pick you up and show you some of the Vegas that you don't see when you're always on the strip.
Nice.
We like to hang out, go to Hoover Dam. It's only 30 minutes, cool stuff like that. So, yeah, everybody, like my fan page, hit me up. I try to post some okay stuff, keep everybody interacted and stuff. So it's good times.
Good stuff. Brian, as always, my brother, thanks for taking some time, man. Hang in there, my man.
Hey,
we will get through this, and we're going to have a great Dolphin season coming up, my friend. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Everybody out there, be safe. Do your part. Stay home. Just hang out. Take some shots and relax with the family.
There you go.
Much love, Big O. I appreciate everything, man.
Thank you, my brother. Much love. We'll see you soon. You be good out there.
Fins up.
You got it. Fins up
you
always.
got it too, man.
Thank you, Brian.
Stay safe.
You got it. The great Brian Carroll, baby, from the Las Vegas Dolphin Fan Club, which is a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. Good dude, right? That to me, I got to tell you, because remember, I'm a weirdo as a host. Okay, I actually like interacting with the listeners. You know what I mean? Hanging out with listeners, getting to know the listeners. In the radio business, they don't want to know anything with the listeners. They don't even want to take their phone calls. They don't really care about their texts. They kind of mention it, but it's all in passing. Anybody that knows me knows I really like to connect with people. It's great that way. It's fun. And that was going to be, man, I've been to Vegas 1,000 times. Bill was really looking forward to seeing Vegas. He had never been there, Hoover Dam, all that stuff. For me, I was looking forward more to hanging out with all of you. That, to me, was going to be the funnest part about all. Yeah, it was great to be part of the draft. It was great to talk the draft and cover the draft, and it's going to be great that I know the Dolphins are going to knock it out of the park with the draft, and I have all confidence in that. But it was going to be fun to hang out with Brian and hang out with everybody, NorCal, all the great Dolphins that we've had on, and all the great Dolphins that download the show, reach out to us on text, on Twitter, on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, however they connect with us. That's what I was looking forward to. That was going to be the cool thing. Pre-corona, hugging you all and cheering on the Dolphins and the vibe that we've got going on right now with the Dolphins. See, that's the part I love about all of this, because it's been so crappy for 20 years. You know what I mean? And some of you out there, you're looking at me like, dude, do you have to be negative on purpose? And no, I wasn't being negative on purpose. I was just being negative because they were doing a lot of stupid things. And now you hear me for the last year, and you hear me talk a lot of positive things because I just feel like everything is positive now. I think they're really doing all the right things. And to me, I love the vibe that is going on with the Dolphins now. I just feel good about the Dolphins. I feel good about the direction that they're going in. I feel good that we're going to have a winning team down the line. I don't know if it's a winning season this year, but they're going to get close to it. They're going to push that 7-8 win, maybe even to 9. Who knows? If they can win 5, they can win a couple extra this coming season. But in years 3 and 4, that's when I'm looking at it going, okay, all these riches, all these draft picks, everybody's maturing and coming together. We watch Gesicki grow. We watch Nick Needham grow. We watch players grow, Devontae Parker. We watch people get better under this coaching staff. That, to me, watching Jerome Baker play well, watching Raekwon McMillan play better, watching Eric Rowe, who was terrible at corner, find a home at safety. All of these things just inspired the crap out of me, because you feel like you got a front office. You feel now like you got a coaching staff that can develop players. You feel like you have a coaching staff that can adjust to what the hell's going on in the game. You feel like the coaching staff makes an adjustment in the second half of a game. You saw a team get better in the second half of a season, which is what's supposed to happen. You know, all these kind of things. Ryan Fitzpatrick wasn't a turnover machine like he normally is last year. Do we talk about that enough? I don't think we do. If you were a player that had talent and had the will to get better, you got better under these guys. If you didn't get better, it's because you are Charles Harris. And it doesn't matter who coaches you. You're going to be Charles Harris. You're going to be a bust. But if you wanted to put in the work, you were going to be a different player this past season than you were the year before, Mike Gesicki. So to me, that's what I love about what we're feeling right now, is that vibe that's going on. All right, Kevin Iole is going to join us from Yahoo. Let's switch gears a little bit here. Jon Jones got arrested again. Jon Jones in trouble again. Jon Jones is a moron, as always. So we'll talk to Kevin Iole about the moron name Jon Jones next in hour number 4 of the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, let's get into the knucklehead conversation. Not that Kevin Iole is one, but he covers a sport that possesses one, a really big one, in Jon Jones, arrested again, DWI, gun possession, just craziness. So Kevin Iole does an excellent job of covering MMA and boxing for Yahoo. You can follow him on Twitter at Kevin I. Let's bring him aboard. Kevin, good afternoon, my friend. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing okay, staying inside, going a little stir crazy, but I'm doing my part.
Yeah, no, it's funny, but didn't that come to your mind? You're hearing about the arrest, and it's 1 a.m. and the dude is out on a street somewhere with a gun and a bottle, and you're like, brother, why aren't you home drinking? And aren't you supposed to be home at this time? You know, we got the corona going on. Get your ass home. Didn't that part hit you like right away?
Well, 100%. I mean, you know, you hear it and you say, hey, this, you know, but I also try to look at it a little deeper than the surface, and it tells me there's got to be something wrong going on there, right? You don't do these actions if you're sane and you're normal, right? And so, and I think a lot of times especially when athletes, people who are rich, people who have means and they can get help, this is almost like a cry for help. And I think, you know, he's incredibly lucky if these facts turn out to be true, and obviously they're just allegations, right? But if these facts turn out to be true, and he was twice the legal limit, he's firing a gun. I mean, imagine how lucky he is, because you know what could happen if you fire a gun just indiscriminately in public when you're drunk? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, to me, I look at it and I say there's something going on here beyond just, you know, hey, he wanted to go out cruise around. I mean, I think there's some issues, but you know, it's obviously something we don't know. It's all speculation.
Yeah. And again, you weren't surprised either. That's the other thing. It's almost with this guy, it's like the inevitable. And he tells us that he's not going to change either. And sure enough, he hasn't changed.
You know, what I find interesting, and I think like I look at Mike Tyson, you know, and I covered most of Mike's career, and I've known him, you know, for many, many years. And, you know, I always thought, hey, you know, I never wanted to write this because it's kind of a horrible thing to, you know, say in public or write, you know, but I always thought, hey, this guy's never going to make it to 40 years old, let alone 50.
I agree.
And now here he is, you know, what is he, 53 or almost 53, and, you know, he's doing well. I think that different people, you know, Tyson, I think, is one of the lucky ones, right? I mean, he was able to get his life together at some point. You know, he was reckless for a long period of time, did a lot of crazy things, and now, you know, by all accounts, you know, he's got his life together. And you hope that that's what's the case for Jon, right? Because both for Jon himself and for others that, you know, he would be, you know, for his family, and then for, you know, the fact that he's no longer a threat to society. That would be the thing. You know, if you're driving drunk, we all know you're a threat to society.
Amen.
And if you're firing guns while drunk, you're even a bigger threat.
Yes.
And that's what we want to eliminate. And so you hope that, you know, this guy gets help, whether it's, you know, mandated through the courts or whether it's from, you know, just from his own initiative or family members to help him. But you want to see people who have this get help, because it's, you know, hey, look, addiction's an illness, and, you know, that's how I look at it. I say, I just hope for his sake that he can get the help he needs.
Yeah, but, you know, Kevin, one of the things that you brought up, and Tyson is such a great example, but he's also a polar opposite of Jon Jones in this sense. Yeah, they both did a lot of stupid things. But where I give Tyson a world of credit is that he looked in the mirror and he knows what he's looking at. Even the other day when he gave us a little view inside his pain, that was real pain that he was telling you about. So he's well aware of his faults. He's well aware of who he is. He's even well aware of the dangerous person that lives inside of him, because he'll tell you. But because he's aware of this, he has been able to harness it. Whereas this guy is still not aware of who he is, and he's unwilling to harness it. And that's until he comes to that realization that he's willing to understand who he is, accept the help so he can get better. That's where Tyson is at. He accepted the help, and he
let me just answer that by saying this. I'll say one difference. I agree with a lot of what you said, except you used the word unwilling, and I would change it to unable.
Okay.
And I think, you know, as you were detailing Tyson and what he did, I was thinking of Mike Tyson when he was 30 years old, just like Jon Jones, right? The same thing. And he wasn't admitting it. So I think, you know, Mike has lived 20 plus years longer than Jon. And so he's had that time that he's been able to do this. I'm not saying Jon will do it. Or anybody else who's in a position that like Jon is, and there's plenty of other ones like him who are, you know, eternal screw ups that you see these things happen to. Right. But you hope that at some point, you know, whether it's, you know, you hope it's sooner rather than later, and you hope that it occurs before there is a true tragedy and not just a minor traffic accident, where the worst thing you had was somebody broke their wrist in a traffic accident and that was it. You're thank God that that's the worst that happened. Obviously, we're dealing with situations of life and death there. We want to hope that he can find what Mike Tyson found and what some of the other people found and not have it go the way other athletes had it go, like, Andre Rising comes to mind.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Kevin Iole, by the way, from Yahoo, covers MMA and boxing. You can follow him on Twitter at Kevin I. All right, Kevin, does Dana finally say enough is enough? I know that the MMA, I know UFC needs as many stars or superstars as possible. They don't have a lot of superstars left in that sport right now. He is one of them. But are you willing to sell your soul to have that guy represent your organization? So does Dana White finally pull the plug on Jon Jones, or does he give him break number 54?
Yeah, no, I don't think. My guess would be that they do not do anything publicly. I think the worst that would happen, and I'm not even saying that this will happen, but the worst that would happen is they strip him. But I don't think, I don't think they'll do that. I think, there may be something behind the scenes that they do, but nothing front facing. Like, a lot of people want to see him get stripped. A lot of people want to see him, booted from the UFC.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see. I don't think that's going to happen.
Why?
Well, because their history. Look, if you go back through the history of the UFC and you look, when situations like these arise, remember what happened. I don't know how long you followed MMA, but if you look this up, and I'm sure some of your listeners will remember this, Rampage Jackson, had a mental breakdown. What was it, 08 or 09? And he, was out, and just a crazy police chase, and those barricades up, and all, this whole 9 yards. And everybody was thinking, well, that's the end of Rampage, and Dana stood by him, and he stood by Jon, and he's done. His history is that that's what he does, whether you agree or whether you disagree. Dana, that's how he does things. So when I say I don't think he's going to be stripped, I say that because I think I know the history of the UFC and the history of how Dana views these things. When his fighters get into trouble, he's going to support them and not necessarily get rid of them. And you can debate, and it's certainly a vigorous debate. Is he making the right call or not?
Are those the optics that you should be doing if you're Dana White? Is that the optics you want from your organization, that no matter what you do, you're all right in representing us? I mean, that sends a terrible message.
I think there comes a point in time where, they will say, okay, enough is enough, right? But when is that line? An incident like this, where essentially at this point, because it was contained, right? He fired a gun when he was drunk, allegedly. Could have been horrible, but as it turned out, it's a victimless crime, right? He was over the legal limit. He was sitting on the side of the road. He wasn't driving when he was discovered. So they're going to look at it and say, this is a victimless crime. Now, if he went out there and, let's say, a Ray Rice situation, and there's a video of him belting a woman or belting me or somebody else in an elevator, that's a totally different, situation. And, I think then that might happen. But as long as the things happen like this, even the Rampage Jackson thing, as bad as that was and could have been, right, a police chase through busy city streets and driving the wrong way, nothing happened. There was nobody hurt. So I think that's where they're drawing the line. And I'm not going to condone that and say that's the right thing, but that's where they seem to have been consistent over the years in how they handle these things.
All right, so how are you handling quarantine? What do you got? Did you build an octagon in your house or something, or what are you doing?
Well, get this. When this whole thing started, I was supposed to go to Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and we were leaving on a Tuesday. And Monday night we decided, well, I still was willing to go, but my friends who were going to go play golf with me, they decided no. So I was on vacation for 2 weeks, sitting in my freaking house doing nothing except for searching for toilet paper at Walmart, the grocery store, and Target. So that was a bad thing. And but this is my first week back to work, and I've been doing some Skype interviews with fighters and fight personalities, and I've been doing a lot of those. and I'll be doing a lot more. And I should add, next week I'll be doing Brittany Palmer, the Octagon Girl. Nice. So I'm trying to get a diverse group of people, just, shooting the bull about the fight game and what's happening, kind of like we're doing, and, give people something to watch if they're interested in fights, but there are no fights to watch.
Are they planning anything in the UFC down the line in another country somewhere or anything like that without fans? Is that going to be
UFC 249?
Okay, go ahead.
I have an interview up on Yahoo Sports. You can search it, or if you follow me on Twitter, I've tweeted it. I think it's my pinned tweet right now. And I did a half-hour interview with Dana the other day, and he said UFC 249, Tony versus Habib, is definitely happening. He said I did the interview with him on Tuesday. And that was, he said there was 3 sites in the U.S. and 4 sites internationally that he was considering to host it on April 18th. He said he would announce it by the end of the week, which is tomorrow. So we'll see if it gets, today is the end of the business week, so we'd assume he would announce it today. But that's happening. And then he said on that interview, and people can watch it again on Yahoo Sports, he said that they're going to resume their entire schedule. So Las Vegas right now is closed, but I think that the governor, unless things change, has said they'll be able to open at the end of April. So now, of course, that's going to be depending on how the situation is on the ground. But I think the UFC is planning then after that to put a bunch of shows at their Apex facility that they have and have a whole bunch of fight cards reeling off one after the other out of Las Vegas in the empty studio at Apex.
Wow. All right. Interesting stuff. You want to find out more? Follow him on Twitter at Kevin I. You can check out that interview with David, with Dana, I'm sorry. And, of course, catch his work there at Yahoo. He is Kevin Iole. Kevin, thank you for taking some time, my man. Stay safe. Stay corona-free. Appreciate the insight.
I'll keep with the Tecate, man. I appreciate you, brother.
You got it,
be well.
All right, be good. There you go. Kevin Iole, man. Good stuff there. Really appreciate him taking some time. All right. Just switching gears. By the way, Bill, I have information. We have information.
You have information?
Yes.
Who are you?
Metallica and Greta Van Fleet. We have the new dates in South America.
You're supposed to be the new number 2.
No, the new number 1. I am not a number. I am a free man.
You are number 6.
December 4th, they're in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the Hippodrome de San Isidro. December 4th. December 7th, Santiago de Chile, Estadio Nacional. December 14th, they're in Porto Alegre, Brazil. In December 16th, they're in Curitiba, Brazil.
Hold on. You had me at Brazil. Brazil butts.
Okay, yeah. That's 14th in Porto Alegre. December 16th, they're in Curitiba, Brazil. December 18th, they're in Sao Paulo. That's the one we got to go to because we got to climb up to the Jesus.
Bada bing.
Right? Don't you got to go to that Jesus on top of the mountain? Because the views on that thing look just like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so that one, they're in December 18th in the Estadio do Morumbi. December 18th. What do you think? We go to Brazil December 18th?
Yeah. That would be outrageous.
Go see Greta Van Fleet open up for Metallica. Right? I know what the suggestions are, right? Don't take jewelry. Don't go dressed up. I mean, I don't take any jewelry, and my jewelry's like fake jewelry, sterling silver, stuff like that. So they're not gonna. They're not gonna.
Them idiots might think it's platinum. You got a problem.
That's true. Oh no, my stuff is tangled here. So anyway, they're not gonna jump me for jewelry because they're not gonna get any money out of it. Plus, this keeps me alive right here. My nitro is in here. So if you guys ever see me have a heart attack and I'm in public, reach for this, unscrew it, and I have my nitro pill in here. Okay, just to remind you guys, because Bill already knows. But just in case, if I'm hanging out with any of you out there, you unscrew this. I got my nitro pill in there. and I got to put it under my tongue. And that's it. You might save my life one day. So there you go. Nitro, right there, saving lives. So what do you think, bro? December 18th, Sao Paulo, Brazil. December 20th, they're in Belo Horizonte, Brazil, which I don't know how far that is from Sao Paulo. Or Curitiba, Brazil, in the 16th. I don't know how far that is from Sao Paulo. I got to look it up. Maybe we go to those two cities.
I'm thinking we stay up in the mountains, man, rent a house, something like Blame It on Rio, right?
Okay. I got no problem with that. I don't know if my wife's going to go. I'll ask the wife. She didn't want to go to Vegas. I wonder if she doesn't want to go to Brazil. Honey, I'm going to Brazil. Go see Metallica and Greta. You want to go? Nah. Okay.
See more butts.
Yes. Okay. We're good. So just in case, giving you guys the tips if you want to join me for Metallica and Greta down in Brazil. Love that. All right, we got a couple of other things before. One of my favorite European bands that nobody knows here in the States, Biffy Clyro, has announced the delay of their 9th album, A Celebration of Endings, admitting they felt uncomfortable about releasing a record during the coronavirus breakout. A Celebrations of Endings will now arrive August 14th instead of May 15th, as originally planned. With all the turmoil and anxiety that the coronavirus situation is causing everyone's lives, we decided that it would have felt wrong to have continued with our original release, and so now they are delaying it, which, you know, is depressing for me because I'm a huge Biffy Clyro fan, and I really would have enjoyed some new Biffy Clyro music. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, just to give you a heads up, he is going to be part of performing Living Room charity concert. For those of you that don't know, Dave Grohl is now also in the action. iHeartRadio is doing a Living Room concert for America. It's going to be on Fox. All right? And so Billy Joe Armstrong has announced that he's going to be part of it, and he's joining Alicia Keys, the Backstreet Boys, Billie Eilish, Mariah Carey, Tim McGraw, and Elton John for this event, and it'll be this Sunday, March 29th at 9 o'clock, so you can catch it, and they will also repeat it on Monday, too. So I'll give you a little heads up there if you want to catch, which is a bunch of artists actually doing it. Now, you want something really cool, Bill? Really cool. While you're stuck in the coronavirus funk right now, right, and you're quarantined, all right, just like the rest of us, like we're here and we're going to go back home right now to get quarantined, obviously. 9 Inch Nails is surprising all of you fans out there with 2 new free albums. Not 1, but 2. Ghost 5 Together and Ghost 6 Locust. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross had this to say: as the news seems to turn even more grim by the hour, we've found ourselves vacillating wildly between feeling like there may be hope at times to utter despair, often changing minute to minute. Although each of us define ourselves as antisocial types who prefer being on our own, this situation has really made us appreciate the power and need for connection. Music, whether listening to it, thinking about it, or creating it, has always been the thing that helped us get through anything, good or bad. With that in mind, we decided to burn the midnight oil and complete these new Ghost records as means of staying somewhat sane. Ghost 5 Together is for when things seem like it might be all okay. Ghost 5 Locust, well, you figure it out. It made us feel better to make these, and it feels good to share them. Music has always had a way of making us feel a little less alone in the world, and hopefully it does for you, too. Remember, everyone is in this thing together, and this too shall pass. We look forward to seeing you again. Be smart and safe. Take care of each other. We love, with love, Trent and Atticus. The albums will be released with through the streaming services, so they're already out there. You can get them, okay? So how about that? If you like Nine Inch Nails, they're giving you 2 new albums for free. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I like that. So if you're a Nine Inch Nails fan, you cannot complain. Eagles, by the way, in sad news for them, but again, not a surprise because most bands have done this. They have postponed their Hotel California 2020 tour dates due to the ongoing coronavirus outbreak out there. So their stops in Denver, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Phoenix will now be pushed to the fall. They were actually, the week we were in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas, one of those days, I think on the Thursday or Friday night, they were in Los Angeles, the Eagles. I'm pretty sure. So they have canceled all these dates.
I do remember because we were talking about going.
Yeah. Yeah. So they rescheduled them. They'll be at the Forum September 25, 26, and 29 because that's where we were going to go. We were going to go see them at the Forum, which, by the way, is closing down. So, that's pretty cool to see that.
Here.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Raiders, the week before, go and catch them at the Forum and then go up to San Francisco and watch us go kick the 49ers' butt, and then we'll be the talk of the NFL.
That would be nice. I like that. I like that. Do you guys remember that we told you about Katya and that Tyler Hero was shooting his shot at Katya Elise Henry? You guys remember that? For those of you that watch us every day, this is Katya Elise Henry smoking. Like smoking is an understatement. Okay? I mean, seriously. There we go. It stayed enlarged. So, huh? Yeah, make sure you can see it. There you go. I just want to make sure you can see it. Glare. There you go. There you go. All right. Well, you guys got enough of it. Okay, look her up. Katya Elise Henry. So he was, shooting a shot. And so a listener, a follower of hers, asked, what are you doing? What are you doing today? And then somebody said, what about, Tyler Hero? And she responded with, yeah, that's on the list, but what else? So she has already acknowledged that she wants to bang Tyler Hero. And he's like, what are you doing today? Well, how about Tyler Hero? She goes, yeah, that's on the list, but what else? And Tyler Hero then liked her response. So how about Tyler Hero scoring there with the IG model? Although we got to remind Tyler, be careful, my brother, okay? Be careful. You know, before you even get to the point that you get paid, you don't want to be giving that money away. I know she's smoking hot, so she could be very tempting, Katya Elise Henry. You can look up the pictures. But nice job by Tyler Hero. He got her attention. She's got his attention. So he's going to be scoring soon. But again, be very careful. Wear gloves. Wear the one-fingered glove downstairs. Protect yourself. Don't leave any babies behind, Tyler. Comprende, compadre? Do not go bare into the woods. Wear clothes. Combat helmet. Very important, Tyler. That's my tip to you before you give her the tip. All right, let's wrap it up here on the show. We thank, of course, Larry Schlossberg, all the great people out here at Craig's Inns, Acura, Pembroke Pines, for making it nice and easy for us to broadcast out here. As always, remember tomorrow morning you can catch us over on Mad Dog Radio on Channel 82. I've got the link on my Twitter page at Big O Show. There's also a 90-day free trial, so you can actually listen for the next 90 days and enjoy and listen to us tomorrow morning. We'll be rocking out there. We'll do something also on Sunday here on the show, and we're back on Monday, rocking and rolling as always.
You made a promise to somebody. You got something.
I got to come through on Sunday. I got to come through.
Okay.
Got to come through on Sunday. I will.
You need me to set an alarm?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll get it done. I'll get it done this time around. I'll get it done. I'll do a little draft. A little draft podcast is coming on Sunday, so we'll do that for you. And we thank all of you out there. Remember to share the link on the video when you're watching on YouTube. Share the link with friends and family members. Send it on a text or put it on Facebook or Twitter, all that good stuff. We thank all of you out there. Download our shows. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. Search for it at Big O Radio Show. Big O Radio Show.
We're getting into that point where, like, you start to get cabin fever because we've been inside for 7-10 days.
I'm a homebody. It doesn't bother me.
Stay the course. Stay the course, guys.
Me and the wife are homebodies. So
I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
I'm talking to those guys.
Yeah.
Our guys.
Well, stay safe.
Please, everybody.
Download the shows. Support it. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you on Monday. That's for sure. But we'll talk to you on Sunday. You be good out there. Much love. Stay safe.
You guys have a great weekend, please.
This is the Big O Show.